The Ballers rolled to a 16-7 win in Game 1. The Paddleheads answered with a 12-7 win in Game 2. So in Oakland's first three-game series of the year, it comes down to a rubber match to decide the winner. And Aaron Miles gives the nod to Brody Iglite for his first start of 2025. Good evening and welcome to Allegiance Field at Oakland Park in Missoula, Montana, as the Oakland Ballers visit the Missoula Paddleheads for the finale of a three-game series. I'm Nevada Cohen, and you're listening to Oakland Baseball on 860 AM The Answer and on YouTube. Despite the loss last night, the Ballers showed grit and resilience in their comeback effort, but they also struck out a few too many times. 16 to be exact, a season worst in their 12-7 loss. But, again, they showed their fight in that game. Missoula came back after trailing 3-1 to take a huge lead. They led 8-3 after 6. But then, the top of the 7th inning, the Ballers got a couple on with 2 outs for Tremaine Cobb Jr., who hit his first professional homer, a 3-run bomb to left center field. 106 off the bat, 447 feet. An absolute tater from Tremaine Cobb. And yet, Missoula came right back, punched back with a 4-run 7th, and won 12-7 to even this three-game series at 1 game apiece. So, with the rubber match being tonight, here is the lineup for the Ballers as they go for a crucial series win. It'll begin with Tremaine Cobb Jr., the shortstop, leads off for Aaron Miles' squad. His second year, Aaron Miles is field manager for the 13-7 Ballers. After Cobb, it's Isai Santos, the DH, batting second. Davis Druick, left fielder, bats third. Cam Buford, third baseman, cleans up. Christian Almanza, first base, hits fifth. Danny Harris, second baseman, bats sixth. Lou Helmick gets the start in right field, batting seventh. Michael O'Hara, the center fielder, batting eighth. And Dylan Tatum, the catcher, bats ninth. The Ballers will turn to Brody Iglite, his first start of 2025. He started once last year for the Ballers. And he will be opposed by Nick Parker, the pitcher for the Missoula Paddleheads. 14-6 are the Paddleheads this year. They're third in the league. Michael Schlacht is their field manager. He is in his fifth year. Colby Wilkerson leads off for the Paddleheads, the second baseman. Mike Rosario, the right fielder, hits second. Roberto Pena, first baseman, hits third. Adam Fogel, left fielder, cleans up. Colin Gordon, the third baseman, bats fifth. Carlos Perez, who has had himself a great series for the Paddleheads, the catcher tonight, batting sixth, has 3 straight games with at least 2 hits and has 5 hits in the series, a double and a home run. 7-hitter is Alex Sanchez, the center fielder. Nick Klemp, the DH, bats eighth. Cam Willman, the shortstop, in the 9 spot for Missoula. Let's take a look at these Pioneer League standings real quick. Going into this game, Idaho Falls and Rocky Mountain tied for first at 15-4. Missoula at 14-6. The Paddleheads in third. Ballers and High Wheelers tied for fourth at 13-7. Then you look a little bit further down. Boise in the middle of the pack with Ogden, 6th and 7th respectively. Billings in 8th at 9-11, and Glacier at 8-12 is 9th in the league, but really drops off after Glacier. Grand Junction Jackalopes, winners of 2 straight, are 5-14 this year. Northern Colorado have lost 5 in a row. They are 3-16. Great Falls, 2-18. They have lost 15 games in a row, the Great Falls Voyagers. They are in a bad tailspin, helped along by the Paddleheads, who took all 6 against them last week. But, again, the most important ones, Paddleheads in third, Ballers in fourth. Winner of this game will technically be the third-place team in the Pioneer League. And also, if these two teams face off or are finish tied for a first-half playoff position or second-half playoff spot, then the winner of this game gets that playoff spot, because this is the last game between Missoula and Oakland this year. Only a 3-game series, so you want to have that head-to-head advantage by taking this series. So a lot on the mound as Nick Parker takes the mound. So we're ready for the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, here from Allegiance Field at Oakland Park. It will be sung tonight, and I'm going to mute my mic for a second and turn up the crowd mic so we can listen in to the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
With our national anthem performed tonight by Holly Stroud. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Great job by Holly Stroud, the singer of the Star-Spangled Banner on this Thursday evening. I'm Nevada Cullen, Chris Dorr back in our 860 AM The Answer studios. Let's play a rubber match here today from Ogren Park in Missoula. Ballers order one more time: Cobb, Santos, Druick, Buford, Almanza, Harris, Helmick, O'Hara, Tatum. They face the pitcher for Missoula, Nick Parker. Last time out was a week ago for Parker, and he wasn't fantastic. 4 2/3, 9 hits, 7 runs, 4 earned runs, walk, 2 batters hit by a pitch, and 4 strikeouts. But even though he couldn't earn the win because he didn't go 5, Missoula still won because they beat the Voyagers that day 22-15. That's right. Missoula is averaging, get this, 17 runs of support for Parker in his 3 starts this season. They scored 15 in his first start, 14 in his second, 22 in his third. This Paddleheads offense is one of the most touted bunches in the league. They just hit the ball over the lot, and they did yesterday against the Ballers in the 12-7 win. Parker, the righty, 25 years old. It says he's from Rockwall, Texas. Well, it says on the bio he's from Rockwell, Texas. There is no Rockwell, Texas. So maybe he has lived at one point in Rockwall, but if I look at his college page, it says he's from York, Pennsylvania, so that's what I'm going with. So Pennsylvania native, Parker, second-year Paddlehead, 6.59 ERA, 1-0 record this year, 3 starts, 13 2/3 innings, and 18 hits allowed, 4 walks to 10 strikeouts. Parker, the righty, here's the defense behind him. In the outfield from left to right, Fogel, Sanchez, Rosario. Infield from first to third, Pena, Wilkerson, Willman, Gordon, Perez catching, Parker, the righty, on the hill. Uniforms today, Missoula going away from the tie-dye ones they wore yesterday, still going with those pinstripe pants with the black pinstripes, white pants, and the white pinstripe, the white jerseys with black pinstripes to match with the tops. It says Paddleheads across the chest, and they're rolling with the black caps with the green brim. Oakland hoping to win the series tonight, going back to their road uniforms that they've worn all series. The green tops, Ballers in gold across the chest, gray pants, and green socks. Righty Cobb in from the right side, facing the righty Parker, who will work from the stretch. 5 on the timer, he comes home and misses low and away. 7:16 beginning here from Missoula. That is 6:16 in the Bay. Thanks for tuning in on 860 AM The Answer and on YouTube. Parker against Cobb next is a strike. 1-1. Hoping for a better strike zone tonight. Connor Lindsay behind the dish. Greg Hendricks at first. Cody Kernut at third. 1-1 the count on Cobb. Last night, 1 for 4, his lone hit, his first professional home run. And he swings and laces one into right field and has a first batter single. Tremaine Cobb with a leadoff knock here in the first inning. He goes opposite field on a fastball low and away. 100 off the bat of Cobb, and he extends his hit streak to 8 games. Ballers with a leadoff base runner against the Paddleheads. No score, top of the first from Oakland Park in Missoula. Santos, the batter, stands in left side, and the first to him is taken for a strike. That was the changeup down in the zone, 0-1. Santos 1 for 4 on Tuesday with an RBI. Did not feature yesterday against the lefty for the Paddleheads. Dawson Day was excellent, struck out 10 over 6 innings. A check to first. Cobb is back safely. Cloudy day here in Missoula. This is the coolest day so far that the Ballers have had here. After the temp was in the 90s on Tuesday, it's now 71. It'll drop to 67 tonight. 0-1 count pitch. Santos takes another good changeup on the outside corner. 0-2. So Parker way ahead and hoping to get Santos here. Cobb the runner at first. No score in the top of the first inning. And no one out. Parker with 6 on the timer. Comes set. He goes with 2 and misses high. A ball and 2 strikes on Santos. It rained earlier here in Missoula. It rained as soon as 2 hours before first pitch. 1-2 to Santos. Low, 2-2. I was downtown along with some of the Ballers in downtown Missoula when it rained around 2 p.m. today. And then the rain came back and the winds were gusting here at Oakland Park. So much so that they had to close the windows to the press box. 2-2. Santos early on a breaking ball. Bounces it foul towards the Ballers dugout. Count remains 2-2. Parker wants a new ball. Field likely a little damp today, which should help the conditions. I think the dryness of Oakland Park over the course of this series have resulted in some high bouncing balls, and perhaps the field plays a bit more kindly today. Parker wasn't happy with any of the baseballs, and so the Paddleheads will need to get some fresh pearls from the dugout. I know that's something that Pioneer League players have talked about. I've talked to some Ballers about the state of the baseballs in the league. I think sometimes they're a bit darker, and because they're not like as bright as normal baseballs that maybe they would use in the major leagues, it can be hard to see fly balls at night. Lights are not on yet here in Missoula. It's still early, 7:20. You would think, hold on, that's kind of late. Well, the sun doesn't really set here until 9:30. It's a rather late setting sun in the Treasure State of Montana. So now we're ready for another 2-2 pitch to the lefty Santos. 20th appearance this season. Played in all but one game. And he takes a big hack at a curveball and strikes out. 1 away. Parker with the K, his first. Runner at first is Cobb. No score in the top of the first inning. Davis Druick is next. Had a 13-game hit streak come to an end yesterday. Went 0 for 3 with a couple walks and a couple strikeouts. Runner at first is Cobb. Druick on Tuesday, 2 for 4 with a double. Hoping to get back to his hard-hitting ways. First pitch. Low and in. Kicks away from the catcher Perez. And Cobb walks down to second almost. Perez has to run to the baseball because it bounced off the backstop past Cam Buford on the right side on deck circle. It's a wild pitch that allows Cobb to scoot to second. Runner on second for the Ballers as they try to strike first here in Missoula. No score, 1 out. Top of the first inning. Druick this season, 19 games played, 373 hitter, has driven in 23. Takes a hook outside for a ball. That was actually low. So below the zone, 2-0. Promising start so far from Connor Lindsay behind the plate. He's been sharp. It is early in the game, but his calls have been flawless thus far. 2-0. That's taken south for a ball. 3-0. With an empty base at first and the hard-hitting Druick at the plate, you can understand why Parker is now pitching around him. We'll see if Druick has the green light or not on 3-0. Parker looks towards second and delivers. Druick takes a good breaking ball. That one a slider right over the heart of the plate. 3-1. Don't see a ton of 3-0 sliders, but Parker obviously has some amount of confidence in that pitch to be able to throw it 3-0. Next is the 3-1. Druick swings, laces it, left field. Does it have a chance? No, it's off the base of the wall. Cobb in to score. Davis Druick with a 1-out, 2-bagger. He sees a 3-1 pitch high and away, and he goes the other way for his 24th RBI of the year. Ballers score first. It's 1-0 Oakland. They've scored first in all 3 games of the series. They did not score in the first inning yesterday, though. Scored 3 in the first inning on Tuesday, and Davis Druick had a single in that inning and came in on a Cam Buford double. Well, here is Buford. He doubled on a breaking ball on Tuesday in that first inning. First, almost hits him. Breaking ball slipped out of the hand of Parker. 1-0. Single by Cobb. He comes home on the RBI double by Davis Druick. That's his 7th double of the year. 1-0 pitch to the righty Cam Buford. Breaking ball. This was a good one, and he offered, says Connor Lindsay, home plate umpire, 1-1. It was a half swing. It was pretty clear, though, that Buford offered at the pitch. So Druick with the opposite field double with 1 out. He's at second. 1-0 Ballers. Top of the first inning. 1-1. Buford swings and misses. That's another good breaking pitch outside. Looked like the slider. And Buford calls time after whiffing on back-to-back sliders, 1-2. Buford 0 for 4 yesterday, but went 4 for 6 on Tuesday. A career high in hits for the rookie from Chicago. 1-2, Parker delivers. Buford holds this time at the slider. Low and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Parker's pitch count nearing 20 in this first inning. Just 1 out. Buford the cleanup man with Druick at second. 5 on the pitch timer. 2-2 on its way. He delivers with 2. And Buford pokes it. Left field. Could this drop? Sanchez has room and makes the catch. Druick will not tag. 2 down. Sanchez had to range a long way for that ball. It was 85 off the bat, so with that slow exit velo, it looked like Buford might plop it into left center field for a hit. Instead, it is caught by Sanchez in center, who had to cover a lot of ground to get there. Next, Christian Almanza, and wouldn't be surprised if he drew a 2-out walk here because he's homered in his first at bat in each of the 2 games this series. Takes a breaking ball for a strike, though. 0-1, so looks like Parker's choosing to pitch to him. He at least gets ahead in the count with the curveball there. Almanza, a 3-game hit streak with 3 homers in his last 2 games here in Missoula. 0-1. Almanza taps it foul towards the Ballers' dugout right side, picked up by Danny Harris in the on-deck circle. 1-0 Ballers, top of the first inning. 2 down, Druick at second base. Almanza's 3 homers in this series have all come in the first 2 innings of games. Parker's way ahead, 0-2. The righty against the lefty Almanza. Open stance lefty, rests the bat on the shoulder. And now time is called. That was smart to disengage there for Parker because the pitch timer was down at 2. Plenty of time on the pitch timer now for Parker before this 0-2 pitch to Almanza. He misses high and away with a fastball at 88. A ball and 2 strikes. Almanza yesterday 1 for 3 in the game with his solo shot in the second inning. A 410-foot bomb, opposite field home run. Drove in 2, his 6th multi-RBI game of the season. He's driven in 27, which now leads the squad. Druick has 24. Almanza takes a changeup in the dirt at 80 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Almanza hitting just .284, but he has made his hits count. Picked up a few hits on Tuesday. Tied a season high, went 3 for 5, drove in 6. Two-two count. Delivery from Parker is swatted in the air high to center field. Sanchez drifting in, still running, still going, and gets there for out number 3. So Almanza is retired in his first at-bat for the first time in the series, but the Ballers do strike first on the RBI double by Davis Druick. 2 hits in the inning and 1 left for the Ballers. As we go to the home first, it's Oakland 1, Missoula nothing. Paddleheads coming up when you return on 860 AM The Answer. Ballers strike first. It's 1-0 Oakland against the Paddleheads in the bottom of the first inning. The lineup today, again, for the Paddleheads. The Missoula Paddleheads at 14-6 this season. Wilkerson, Rosario, Pena, Fogel, Gordon, Perez, Sanchez, Klemp, and Willman. And on the mound for Oakland, making his first start of 2025 and second professional start, it's Brody Iglite, a 23-year-old from Martinez, right-handed thrower. Held Glacier hitless from the 5th to the 7th innings on Friday. So went 3 innings, hitless ball, and a 5-2 win over the Range Riders. He walked 1, he struck out 3. This season, this is his 5th appearance. He's thrown 10 innings, 9 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, and 11 strikeouts. 0.90 ERA. But has not started since August 31st, fan-controlled sports day against the Idaho Falls Chuckers. He went 4 innings in that game. He's hoping to give the Ballers at least 3 today. Essentially, it's a bullpen game, but Iglite is the bulk man for the Ballers, so he'll get the nod, and he misses low to Wilkerson, 1-0. Defense behind Iglite, left to right in the outfield. Druick, O'Hara, Helmick. Infield, right to left. Almanza, Harris, Cobb, Buford. Tatum, the catcher. And Iglite gets a fly ball to left field, hit right at Druick, who is there for out number 1. So Wilkerson, in his 3rd game as the leadoff man this season for Missoula, flies out. Brings up Mike Rosario. Little lineup switch today for Michael Schlacht, thinking that Wilkerson Rosario can get on for Pena and Fogel. Pena's been hitting 2nd for Missoula in this series. Rosario, the 2-hitter today, 9-game hit streak. And the lefty takes outside for a ball, 1-0. Rosario, 17 RBI over his 9-game hit streak. 5 doubles, 3 2 triples, and a home run. 1-0 is just off the plate at 88. 2-0. Iglite, 3-pitch mix, 4-seam, changeup, slider. His 2-0 pitch to Rosario is the changeup in for a strike, top of the zone, 2-1. And that was, oh boy, that was another one of those calls that we saw from Cody Kernot last night, top of the zone, that should have been called a ball. Iglite will take it, though. It's fouled off on 89, the fastball, 2-2. But I sincerely hope that if more of those pitches are called tonight high in the zone, that somebody challenges it early this time. 2-2. That's a hook high and away at 76. Count goes full on Rosario. 12 walks to 5 strikeouts this season. He had 62 strikeouts last season, so he's become more disciplined. And he rips a line drive foul of first and into right field. 3-2. We'll do another full count pitch as Helmick trots back to his position. He had to corral that foul ball at the wall in right. Second payoff. Spoiled again. Foul of first. Another full count delivery coming from Iglite to Rosario as Iglite tries to keep Rosario off the bags before Pena. 3-2. Spoiled again, this time off to the left. That was the fastball. It was over the plate, and Rosario was late on 89. There's just a pretty big disparity between Iglite's fastball and off-speed pitches, and that helps. 3-2. Finally, a ball. A walk for Rosario, his 13th of the year. Brings up Roberto Pena. So the at-bat finally comes to an end for Rosario. He does his job getting on for Pena, who hit his league-leading 13th homer last night. Pena hitting with 1 out. Ballers leading 1-0. First pitch low and outside, 1-0. One out in the bottom of the first inning. It's Ballers 1, Paddleheads nothing. But Pena at the plate takes the 1-0, 89-mile-an-hour heater on the outer edge for strike 1. Pena 3 RBI yesterday, including his 2-run shot in the 7th off of Caleb Franzen. 1-1 pitch from Iglite. The righty swings and fouls it back. It's 1-2 on Pena. Had someone asking on YouTube, what is the small beeping? Is it the pitch clock? No, it is the scoreboard. That's right. I get to sit next to Alex today, the scoreboard operator for the Missoula Paddleheads. He also runs the pitch clock. Oh, so I guess, yes, it is the pitch clock and the scoreboard. Fly ball center field. O'Hara is there. That's a high fly ball, and it finally comes down for out number 2. So, yes, actually, Jesse on YouTube was correct. It is the pitch clock and the scoreboard. That is the beeping sounds. I've just become like almost blind to it at this point. It's just part of the soundtrack of my daily life. Yeah. 2 outs for Adam Fogel. The big bopper himself stands in from the right side. Fogel on a 3-game hit streak. A double yesterday. Runner goes. No, it's a fake. It's high and tight, 1-0. Decoy from Rosario over there at first. Fogel, Pioneer League MVP in 2024, broke the league record with 35 home runs. 1-0 toss. Fogel fouls it straight back. 89-mile-an-hour fastball in on Fogel. Ball and a strike. 26-year-old native of Rancho Palos Verdes, California. former Kentucky Wildcat. Also played at the University of Hawaii for most of his career. 1-1 outside. The slider from Iglite away at 75 miles an hour, 2-1. So that's how he gets people to be late to his fastball. It's just 89, but because he throws that curveball so slowly, it speeds the bats up, or slows them down, I guess. 89-mile-an-hour fastball low on Fogel, 3-1. And this is where you have to execute if you're Iglite, or just miss. Because 3-1, you know Fogel's looking for something that he can drive over the fence. Already has 8 homers. Runner goes on 3-1, and it is fouled back, and he got a middle fastball there and just missed it. So Iglite works the count full. Fogel calls time. Mentioned the 35 homers last year. That set a new Pioneer League record, surpassing the previous mark of former paddlehead Jason Newman. Something about these Missoula paddleheads, they hit long balls. Rosario at first with 2 down, 1-0 Ballers home first. Payoff from Iglite to Fogel. His line in a right field base hit. Helmick to it quickly. Comes up firing and misses the cutoff man Cobb. Nearly took his head off, but does with the strong throw prevent Rosario from going to third base. So it's just a hard single from Adam Fogel, which is not worst case scenario when you're facing Fogel. But now it's Colin Gordon, who yesterday drove in 3 runs in his last 2 at-bats. A 2-run double in the 6th, an RBI single in the 7th. He hits with 2 aboard for Missoula, 2 outs, trailing 1-0 against Oakland in the bottom of the 1st. And the first toss is an 87-mile-an-hour fastball low, 1-0. One count on Gordon. Switch hitter, so batting lefty. Rest the bat on the left shoulder. Swings and pops it up. Behind second. Harris drifting. The second baseman camped underneath, puts it away for out number 3. So Iglite gets through Murderer's Row here in the first inning without allowing a run. Missoula strands 2. They get a hit in the inning, and we go to the second. Ballers up 1-0 on the Paddleheads on 860 AM The Answer. One 0 Oakland, top of the second here from Missoula, Montana. Ballers will send 6, 7, 8 to the plate against Nick Parker, who gave up an RBI double to Davis Druick in the first. That's the difference in this ball game. I'm Nevada Cullen. Chris Dorr back in our 860 AM The Answer studios. This is the finale here in Missoula. Ogden is next, Friday through Sunday for 3. Ballers head to Ogden tonight to Utah for the first time this season. Cloudy skies here in Missoula. Not ominous, just a bit hazy, almost like the marine layer has fallen here in the, what do they call it, the hub of 5 valleys here in Missoula. But, of course, not the marine layer. We're not at Raimondi. We're not in the Bay. The Ballers will be back at Raimondi Park on Tuesday against Glacier for 6 before going back on the road for 2 more weeks. So, if you want to see the Ballers soon, you got to go to Raimondi next week. Or you can follow them on the road. Here's Danny Harris. First pitch swinging, lines it foul. That hooks just over the head of the Missoula bullpen. Yikes, nothing in one. Some Ballers fans are on the road following the Ballers. Terry's here. Mike Schonard. And I think his dad, Mike, and brother, Greg, if I got that right, are here. Strike on the inside corner on Harris. He can't believe the call. It was close. It was a little bit inside. Probably should have been a ball, but that's an understandable call. And a pitcher's strike from Parker. Nothing in two. Harris didn't like it, though. 0-2. Harris reaches out and pokes it through the left side for a knock. A two-strike single from Harris. He took a breaking ball, a slider below the zone, just reached the bat out and poked it between short and third. Ballers with their second leadoff single in as many tries this game against Parker. Next, it's Lou Helmick. 2 for 6 on Sunday. Ballers lead 1-0, top of the second, nobody out. Harris, the runner at first. He's looking to run, oh no, and he's picked off. He was dancing over there at first, and Parker timed him up perfectly. It's a base running blunder from Harris here in the second, 1 down. Harris he looked like he was almost going to take a short lead and then steal, but then he was just dancing around over there at first. And because he hopped, he was thrown out by Parker, who picked off. Helmick off the end of the bat, back to Parker. He fields, throws off balance to first in time. Nice play, the 1-3 put out, 2 down. But that's the rule of thumb that Danny Harris broke. You cannot hop when you're taking a lead on the bases. If you jump, if you leave the ground with your feet as a base runner, that means you're dead meat. That is the #1 way to get picked off. That resulted in the first out of this inning. Then Lou Helmick with the slow tapper back to Parker. Now it's Michael O'Hara, whose parents were actually here for the first 2 games of this series and the series in Kalispell. O'Hara takes a ball. 1-0. We'll talk about a taco place that we went to today with Michael O'Hara that his parents recommended. That was the lunch stop for the Ballers, some of their players today in downtown. He takes a curveball inside. It's 2-0. Base is empty for the Ballers. 1-0 lead in the top of the second after Harris is picked off of first. The Ballers have the bases empty. Hitters count for O'Hara. He swings and fouls it back. That was the changeup on the outer half. I think O'Hara was looking for a fastball there to destroy. Instead, he just got a piece of the changeup. So it's 2-1. Righty Parker settled at the belt. 5 on the timer, delivers. O'Hara takes a curveball in for strike 2. That was a beautiful pitch. Just dropped in the middle of the zone. Really, it was I guess you could call it a hanging curveball, but O'Hara didn't swing. 2-2. See if he's pitching it backwards here and goes fastball. 1 on the timer. Pitch is outside. Instead, it's the slider that slips out of the hand. 3-2. Full count, 2 outs. 1-0 Ballers, top of the second. O'Hara the lefty, Parker the righty. O'Hara, slight open stance. Holds the bat waist high. Swings and misses at the changeup. Perfectly placed just off the plate to the lefty O'Hara, and Parker gets his second strikeout. Ballers go down in order because of a pickoff at first base. Parker throwing out Harris, the leadoff single, but no runners stranded on the bases for the Ballers because of that pickoff. They get the 1 hit in the inning, but no runs, and we go to the bottom of the second. Ballers leading Missoula 1-0 on 860 AM The Answer. Home second. It is 1-0. Ballers over the Paddleheads here in the bottom of the second inning. Iglite to fish 6, 7, and 8. I'm seeing on YouTube some people commenting, Urhaj saying that there's some big plans for a road trip in Ballers fans. Well, let's just say I know there's one team that's a little closer than the Missoula Paddleheads, and that would be the Yuba Sutter Highwheelers. And I expect to see a few Ballers fans there. I have a feeling that might be what Urhaj is alluding to. Ballers do not play Yuba Sutter in the first half, though. They'll have to wait till the second half to face the Highwheelers, their in-state rival. It's time for this day in Oakland baseball history. Here in the bottom of the second. First pitch is a strike on the right-handed hitting Perez. As we continue to tell the tale of baseball in Oakland with this day in Oakland baseball history, let's flash back to June 12th, 1975. 0-1. Swung on foul, tipped into the mid of Tatum, 0-2. On this day in 1975, 36-year-old Athletics Hall of Famer Billy Williams hits his 400th career home run versus the Brewers. He spent a couple years with Oakland, longtime Cub. 0-2. Lifted foul off to the right, out of play. 16th player in Major League history to reach 400 homers, Billy Williams. And that is this day in Oakland baseball history. That's all I could find for June 12th. Ballers did play this day a year ago. Slider popped up behind second. Harris is out there, and he'll make back-to-back putouts. One to end the first, one to start the second. The reason I'm not talking about the Ballers this day in Oakland history is they lost a year ago today. But I do know that Aaron Eden had a really good appearance, and Kelsey Whitmore started a year ago today. Pretty cool to see her pitch in Mexico this year. Alex Sanchez at the plate after the pop-out, takes high 1-0. Hey, it is Women in Baseball, celebrating Women in Baseball night coming up at Raimondi Park, so that'll be exciting to do. Pitch in the dirt, 2-0. I don't think Kelsey will be there, but I think it'll be a cool night to honor what she did for the Ballers last year and becoming the first woman to start a Pioneer League baseball game. 2-0 on Sanchez, the lefty. Pitch from the righty, Iglite. Nice changeup outside corner, 2-1. That one just caught the high outside corner of the zone. Really good location there from Brody. Sanchez just 1 for 9 in the series. Did have a hit last night. Takes high at 88 for ball 3. Good to see that called a ball because that was well too tall. And last night that pitch was called a strike. Hitter's count here for Sanchez. Pitch from Iglite is fouled away. He chased the fastball just above the zone. Count goes full on Sanchez. Native of Jacksonville, Florida. If you ever meet someone from Jacksonville, they live in Duval County. They love to give a little Duval. That's their thing. Oh, foul tip off of Tatum. Hopefully Dylan's okay. He's kind of hunched over. It bounced off of him. Now he sits up on his knees, making sure Dylan's okay. Bruce Valentine out immediately. It looked like he was in pretty sharp pain right away. He's walking it off, though. Aaron Miles is also out. Duval might have entered the mainstream now that I think about it. When, who's the old Bucks? Liam Cohen, the new head coach of the Jags, and I've got Alex nodding. He remembers when Liam Cohen gave the little Duval, and it was really, yeah, it was pretty weak of a Duval. Good to see Tatum's good to go. Ballers fans and Paddleheads fans clapping in approval. But I think Liam Cohen's going to be just fine there. We'll see. Payoff. Ground ball to first. Almanza gobbles it up, takes it himself for out number 2. Nice job by Iglite. That was a 3-1 count before it became 3-2. And he gets Sanchez to ground out. 3 unassisted. So Iglite through 1 2/3 has allowed 1 hit and 1 walk. He does not have a strikeout. That's not how Iglite rolls, not usually, although he has been striking out a few batters lately. Had 3 in 3 innings on Friday. Here he faces the 8-hitter Nick Klemp. First pitch to him, breaking ball, top of the zone for a strike. That, man, that's not a strike. Ugh, it's so bothersome. It's the same thing that was happening with Cody Kernot last night. Missoula really should challenge that. 0-1 is fouled away, off to the right, 0-2. Nick Klemp, the former Boise Hawk, was actually teammates with Caleb Franzen at Portland for 3 years. Franzen now a Oakland baller. 0-2. Ground ball to first, high chopper. Almanza claims it and runs over to the bag. Makes 2 straight unassisted putouts to end the second. Iglite with a perfect second frame is through 2 scoreless. Ballers 1, Missoula nothing. We go to the third on 8:60 a.m. The Answer. One nothing Oakland in the top of the third inning. Ballers will send 9-1 and 2 to the plate against Nick Parker. We're here in Missoula, Montana, and we're going to hop on a plane and head east all the way to the East Coast and state of Pennsylvania. It's time for the wide world of baseball here on 8:60 a.m. The Answer. Today we'll go to York, Pennsylvania. It's the hometown of Missoula's Nick Parker. According to his Coastal Carolina page, he's a former Chanticleer. It says he's from Texas on his roster bio, but I looked deeper into his Coastal page, and he played high school ball in Pennsylvania. So even if he's originally from Texas, it sounds like he spent a good part of his life in York, Pennsylvania. It's a city in south-central Pennsylvania. It's actually closer to Baltimore than it is to Philly. So it's 2 hours west of Philadelphia. It's an hour north of Baltimore. It's the 10th most populous city in Pennsylvania. Population just shy of 45,000 as of 2023. 1-0 Ballers, top of the third, nobody out. Dylan Tatum leads off the frame and takes a slider in for a strike, 0-1. So the main thing you should know about York, Pennsylvania is that it was once known as Yorktown. That's right. York was Yorktown back in the 17 and 1800s. So, 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Founded in 1741, York served as the temporary base for the Continental Congress during the Revolutionary War. From September 1777 to June 1778, during which the Articles of Confederation were drafted. Of course, there's also the Battle of Yorktown, or the Siege of Yorktown, 0-2 outside 1 and 2. Also the surrender at Yorktown. This was the final battle of the American Revolutionary War. It was in Yorktown, now York, Pennsylvania, won decisively by the Continental Army, led by George Washington, support from Lafayette and the French Army troops. 1-2 outside on Tatum, 2 and 2. Of course, I think of Hamilton because I like a little bit of theater and musical theater. So I think of we can win this war at Yorktown, cut them off at sea. I don't know. All right, you theater nerds out there will appreciate that. The rest of you will roll your eyes. And then time is called before this 2-2 pitch. It says this, the Battle of Yorktown led to the Treaty of Paris, in which the British acknowledged the independence and sovereignty of the 13 colonies, subsequently led to the establishment of the U.S. 2-2 off the plate, 3-2. So really, York, Pennsylvania, one of the most patriotic places in the U.S., I've got to imagine. Just being there, it's got to really feel like America. Also, it's the home of the York Peppermint Patty. It was created in York in 1940. And who doesn't love a peppermint patty? Oh. TP, my history buddy, is Tatum crushes one foul to left. Okay, so I'm wrong. I'm sure someone's already commented on YouTube. No. Nobody's checked me. Of course, Tyler Peterson's checked me on that. York was known as Yorktown, but it's not the same Yorktown of the Revolutionary War battle. That's Yorktown, Virginia. Yorktown, Pennsylvania was the place of the Continental Congress, though. Payoff popped up behind home. Perez, the catcher, wants it. He's got room. Perez stumbling for it. Oh, makes a nonchalant catch, basket style, for out number 1. Tatum upset after his strong at bat ends in a pop out. Thank you, TP. Can always count on Tyler Peterson, who is so good at history. He knows so much. So Yorktown, Pennsylvania was the spot of the Continental Congress, not the Battle of Yorktown. I was wondering why it didn't come up on the Yorktown, Pennsylvania Wikipedia page, and I had to search a bit more to find that battle. York Peppermint Patties, though. I'm right about that. Cobb takes outside for a ball. Want to know? And the last thing that we should talk about when we talk about York, Pennsylvania, not Yorktown, Virginia, is the York Revolution of the Atlantic League. They played there since 2007. It's a baseball team in York. 1-0 to Cobb, bounce to short. Backhand Willman, throw to first on the money. 2 down. But York Revolution play at Wellspan Park in York's Arch Street neighborhood, which features a plaza and statue in honor of MLB Hall of Fame third baseman Brooks Robinson, the legendary Baltimore Oriole. And he was a member of the York White Roses, which was the minor league team in York, who were then disbanded, and then York came up with an independent league team in 2007, the York Revolution. Pitch low to Santos, 1-0. 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. Ballers lead the Paddleheads 1-0. Bases empty for Santos. Struck out swinging first time against the righty Parker. Next to the lefty Santos is a hook that just missed somewhere, challenged by both the pitcher and the catcher. I was going to say, it's at the bottom of the zone. That's a clear strike. And so Missoula's correct. It's 1-1 on Santos. That's unfortunate that Missoula has to use a challenge there. So first, nobody on. 1-1 pitch to Santos. And he lines one into center field, fading away and dropping in left center for a hit. Santos hit it into left center field. A 2-out knock brings up Davis Druick, who had a RBI double his last time to the plate. Sounds like is that a helicopter overhead? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yes, it is landing. I see it now. Yes. Thanks for pointing that out, Alex. The helicopter landing at the hospital. You said it's Providence Hospital? St. Providence, out right above right center field, so you can hear the chopper whirring as Druick nearly gets hit by the first pitch inside, breaking ball. 1-0. Also, we've got Ben Verhoek, who works with us. One of the biggest wiffle ball tournaments in the country is held in York, Pennsylvania. Held at the York Revolution Stadium. Check on first. Back safely is Santos. Yes, Xavier. I like Montana so far. I'll miss it only because we're heading to Ogden next and it's going to be really hot. I've heard good things about Ogden otherwise. 1-0 to Druick, swung on and missed. He whiffed on the changeup. That has been the most effective pitch for Parker tonight, especially against the lefties. It struck out O'Hara to end the second, and he gets the first strike on Druick here. Santos singled on his 1-1 pitch. Parker comes home. Druick takes the changeup and holds off the changeup. Low, 2-1. Ballers up 1-0, top of the 3rd. Offense looking much better tonight than they did last night against Day. 4 hits. Just 1 run to show for it. Another check to first. Santos is back safely. This was a close play, though. Ballers have already been picked off once tonight. That was Danny Harris in the second. Santos is the runner at first with 2 down. And a 1-0 Ballers edge in the top of the third. Druick wearing the yellow batting gloves. Catcher Perez sets up inside. And the 2-1 pitch misses its spot and grabs the top of the zone. That was a good pitch from Parker in the end, even though he did not execute. Druick was not looking for a breaking ball at the top of the zone there. And it's 2-2. Santos looking to steal here, maybe. Nope. Druick bounces a curveball. Foul. Still 2-2. Immediately after having his 13-game hit streak snapped yesterday, he led off the first inning. He hit third in the first inning, but led off his day with an RBI double. That was an opposite field double. Parker just shook off a sign. Nick Parker likes the next sign. He's set. 3 on the timer. Comes home. Runner goes, and it's a wild pitch. Santos can take third. He takes a turnaround second and heads towards third. The throw from Perez is not in time. Santos is safe. He gets an extra 90, and it's 3-2 on Druick. It was a bang-bang play at third base. The throw looked like it might be in time. Santos slid in head first, and the call from the third base umpire, Cody Kernot, safe at second. So it's a stolen base for Santos. No, it's not. It's a wild pitch for Santos that allows him to advance 2 bases. So now Davis Druick with 2 outs. The 3-2 pitch. Takes in the dirt, works the walk, and now men at the corners for Cam Buford. And that wild pitch is important because it has runners on the corners. Two outs, runners on the corners for the Ballers. 1-0. Oakland leads, top of the third. Buford at the plate last time. He flew out. This time he swings and misses, 0-1. Druick works the walk, the first walk of the day for Parker. And again, that wild pitch so important on that stolen base attempt by Santos because it allowed him to get to third. Now he could score on a wild pitch this time. Buford twists away from an inside and high breaking ball. 1-1. Cam with 15 RBI on the year. 3 of them on Tuesday. 1-1 count. Parker the righty against Buford the righty. 5 on the pitch clock. Parker delivers. Buford swings and misses. The breaking ball has been really effective for Parker against Buford. This is the second 2-strike count that Buford's been in his many plate appearances. Righty digs back in. And the right-handed throwing Parker shakes off one side. Takes a brief peek towards first. 2 on the pitch clock. Gotta go. He does just in time with 1. And that is lined right side. And it's a weird hop past Wilkerson and into right field. Scoring on the play is Santos. Druick to third. And Cam Buford doubles the Ballers' advantage. It's 2-0. Oh, man, that had weird English on it. But do you call it a hit or an error there? I would call it an error as well. And it's up to Cindy, really, in the end. I think she has some help there. So I think we are saying error. Yeah. Riley confirms. Now it's Christian Almanza. First pitch, swing and a miss. 0-1. Yeah, it was so weird because the ball was hit. You could tell with some weird English on it because at first I thought it was a line drive through the right side. Then it spun back towards Wilkerson, but then he, like everyone else, thought it was going to his left, and then it went to his right. Next to Almanza is low, 1-1. So it is an error on Wilkerson, unfortunately, who's a really good defender. Santos scores on the play. Druick at third. Runner at first is Buford. 2-0 Ballers in the top of the third inning. 2 outs in the frame. Men at the corners for Almanza. And he swings and bounces one weakly, right side. Nice job by Pena to charge. Almanza tried to run around the tag, but Pena made a good, smart play to charge that baseball and then tag him out for the 3 unassisted putout. Ballers get another run on an error and lead 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the third on 860 AM The Answer. Ballers up 2-0 in the bottom of the third inning. And Oakland will face 9-1-2 for Missoula in the third. It's Brody Iglite on the hill, pitching with the lead. They're in the rubber match from Missoula. Cam Willman will lead off the frame for the Paddleheads against Iglite, who pitched a perfect second inning. First toss from Iglite. A strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Willman in this series is 1 for 5. He has walked 4 times, though. He had only walked 5 times entering the series. Takes the 0-1 for a strike. Got a fastball over the middle and took it. 0-2. My guess is he was thinking that Iglite would throw another pitch. No way Iglite throws a third straight fastball, right? Yeah, no way. Tried the breaking ball. Missed way outside on the slider. A ball and 2 strikes on Willman. Tatum sets up outside on his former teammate in Fort Myers. Gets a pop-up off to the right, 1-2. I talked to Cam Willman about Dylan Tatum. They played for the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles in 2023, both playing for the Twins organization. And Cam had such high praise for Dylan Tatum, saying he's basically one of his favorite players he's ever played with. Tatum smothers a changeup from Brody, 2-2. But, yeah, it was just great to see. Cam just lit up when talking about the Ballers catcher Dylan Tatum. Sweet that he still feels so strongly about his old buddy and teammate. 2-2 outside, just off the corner at 88. Good hold from Willman. That was a ball correctly called, and Willman did not chase. And so he's a pitch away from walking a 5th time in 3 games against the Ballers. See if Iglite goes off speed here on 3-2. And ripped to left field. Willman gives it a ride and sends it out of here. Just his second hit of the series is a home run and only his second long ball of the year. That was well inside the pitch from Iglite. I mean, we're talking high and tight in on the hands, but Willman somehow got the bat head to the 88-mile-an-hour heater, sent it 100 off the bat, 362 over that tall left field wall to make it 2-1 Ballers. Leadoff solo shot by the 9-hitter for Missoula here in the third. Brings up the leadoff man Wilkerson, who was hitting 9th in the first 2 games of this series. First pitch, hook from Iglite, 0-1. I think I'm incorrect about the pitch mix for Iglite. That's either a 12-6 slider or that's a curveball from Brody. 0-1. fouled off. 0-2. Last year he was just sporting 3 pitches. He might have added a pitch or 2 to the arsenal this season. 0-2 on Wilkerson. Oakland leads Missoula 2-1 in the bottom of the third. Nobody out, bases empty. Wilkerson, first time, flew out to left field. Pitch low from Iglite, 1-2. Wilkerson, 7-game hit streak, hitting .583 over that span. 14 for 24, 10 runs scored. 4 doubles, a triple, 8 RBI. 5 multi-hit games. 2 already in this series. Takes high the fastball from Iglite at 89, well north of the zone, 2-2. Two-two pitch from Iglite. Wilkerson lines it into right field for a base hit. Back-to-back hits, I should say, for Missoula here in the third. And now it's booted by Helmick. Throw to second is not in time, and it's an error on Helmick. That allows Wilkerson to get to second. Just caught sleeping out there and right. So Missoula trying to tie the game. Brings up Mike Rosario, walked his first time. Nobody out. 2-1 Ballers lead, bottom of the third, but Paddleheads, like they did yesterday after trailing early, trying to tie it and take the lead. First to the lefty, Rosario. Ground ball to first. Nearly eats up Almanza, who had to make a nice play. Iglite covering. Almanza flips it to him for out number 1. Big first out. Wilkerson to third, though. And Roberto Pena is next, who knows how to do a job. In terms of sac flies, just 4 over his first 2 years in Missoula, 1 this season. He has way more home runs. 24 last year, already a league-leading 13 this season. First time he flew out to center field, he just got under it. This time he's trying to barrel one up to put Missoula in the lead, or at least tie it. Righty-righty battle, runner at third, Wilkerson, 1 out. First from Iglite, powered to center. O'Hara races back. He's shy of the wall. He makes the catch, and Pena has his second sac fly of the year. It's a 2-2 ball game in the third. So that error insanely costly at this point. That is an unearned run against Iglite because Helmick made an error to allow Wilkerson to advance to second. He then advanced to third on the ground out. Now, of course, it all depends on what Fogel does here. A single is first time up for the cleanup man. Brand new here in the third inning with 2 outs. Bottom of the third, 2-2 game. Missoula with 2 in the bottom of the third inning already. Fogel takes high, 90-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-0. Yanked into the dirt almost, 2-0. There's no reason to pitch to Fogel here. With no one on and 2 outs, you'd rather try your luck with Gordon. As good of a hitter he is, he's not Adam Fogel. Iglite gets him to swing, though, and he fouls one away to the right side. That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball high. 2-1. I would imagine this is not the last inning for Iglite. Ballers could certainly go to a new arm in the 4th inning, but Iglite's pitch count is not crazy high. I think he'll try to go 4 in this game. He's pitching well. Fogel fouls another one off to the right side in the sky, over towards the party deck in right, and it bounds onto the concourse. Sends some young fans scampering for the baseball. Nice crowd on hand on this Thursday evening at Ogren Park in Missoula as Paxton walks by. Paddleheads mascot. Sitting next to a former Paddleheads mascot, and Alex, who's running the scoreboard. 2-2 to Fogel, bounce weakly to third, foul. Oh, it nearly curled back fair. Wow. The ball had some weird spin on it, and it nearly hit the third base bag. Fogel not running out of the box would have been out by a mile. Buford could have walked it to first base. Fogel started to run towards first when he realized But it would have been way too late. Fortunately, for Fogel, it stayed foul. And we'll do the 2-2 again. Righty-righty battle. Tiptoe front foot from Fogel, dances. And he takes low and away at 91. A little bit more velo from Iglite there. Trying to retire Fogel, the cleanup man. Just can't pitch it to the zone with him. 43 homers in 2 years in Missoula. And because of that, Iglite throws 2 fastballs low and away and does not get the chase. So Fogel works the walk. Second walk from Iglite. Runner at first for Colin Gordon.
Number 8, Colin Gordon.
Colin Gordon bats next. Runner at first is Fogel. 2 outs. Gordon fouls one back, nothing in 1. 2-2, Ballers and Paddleheads, bottom of the 3rd inning. 2 runs in the inning for the Paddleheads. 1 on the Cam Wheelman home run. The other on a sac fly by Pena. 0-1. Gordon takes high, ball way upstairs, fastball, 1-1. Gordon popped out to second base in his first at bat today. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to first, past Almanza, into right field. To third goes Fogel. Helmick's throw is cut off by Cobb. It's a 2-out single for Gordon, which means that run, unfortunately for Iglite, is now earned. The error by Helmick does not mean anymore that Wilkerson wouldn't have scored. Wilkerson would have, you would imagine, moved maybe to second base in this inning. It's actually a tough call. If you replay this inning, there was a ground out. Yeah, you know what? I think it's unearned at this point. Jim Diedrich on the mound for the Ballers. Diedrich, the pitching coach for Oakland. Checking on Iglite. And the mound meeting will wrap up now. Runners at the corners for the Paddleheads here with 2 outs. Missoula trying to snatch the lead here in the 3rd. Iglite was very good up until this inning, had only allowed 1 hit and 1 walk in his first 2 frames. But then Wheelman started it with a homer. He had to really pull the hands in to get it out of here to left field. Then a single, eventually a sac fly, and a walk and a single since that sac fly have put men at the corners for Carlos Perez. First, the right-handed hitting catcher is in for a strike, nothing in 1. Perez can play catcher and the infield. He started at 3rd in the first 2 games of the series. Pop up to 2nd last time. And he takes the fastball way upstairs, 1-1. Fogel and Gordon, the runners. Perez, the Hialeah, Florida native near Miami. 16 RBI on the year. 2 on Tuesday. Takes high, 2-1. Iglite's been missing upstairs with a lot of pitches recently. Really a handful, I guess. Iglite has not been his most effective in this inning. And that is not the most unexpected because, well, he's been pitching out of the bullpen. He's not been a starter yet for the Ballers this year. 2-1, swung on a miss. He throws 87 there above the zone and gets the chase from Perez. It's 2-2, 2 outs. Men at the corners for the Paddleheads. They trailed 2-0 entering this inning. They've tied it at 2. And the 2-2 pitch from Iglite. Runner goes high. Throw down from Tatum is a good one, and he is out. Gordon is erased by Tatum. It's the first base runner that Tatum has caught stealing this season. Missoula ties it. They get 2 hits in the frame and leave 1. one error in the frame as well for Oakland. But we're brand new heading to the fourth, 2-2 Oakland and Missoula on 860 AM The Answer. Here from Missoula, 2-2. The Ballers and Paddleheads are tied at the start of the fourth inning. District Council 16 painters and allied trades represent the best in the business. Painters, drywall finishers, glazers, and floor coverers, proudly serving Northern California and Nevada. They stand for top-tier training, great wages, strong benefits, and dignity on the job. Join the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades today. District Council 16, building the future, one skilled trade at a time. I'm Nevada Cullen. Chris Dorr back in our 860 AM The Answer studios. Thanks for tuning in on your Thursday night in the rubber match between Missoula and Oakland. Unsurprisingly, it's tied in the top of the fourth at 2 apiece. Paddleheads picking up a couple runs in the bottom of this inning. 6, 7, and 8 to bat for the Ballers in the fourth. It looked like this part of the order was getting off to a good start in the second when Danny Harris had a leadoff single, but then he was picked off. First pitch to Harris here is a breaking ball, bottom of the zone for a strike. 0-1. Danny wears it on his sleeve. If he thinks something is maybe a questionable call, you can tell from his body language. He looked a little exasperated after that. 0-1, wave and a miss. 0-2. Went with the slider there, and Harris whiffed. Nick Parker, the starter for Missoula, has been solid so far. Just the 2 runs allowed on 4 hits. Swinging a chopper to first. Tough play for Gordon. His throw is high and dropped by Pena. I have to agree with error there.
I can see it going both ways. I'm going to go with error.
We're going to go with error for now. In here. It was a high chopper. It was a tough play for Gordon, but if his throw wasn't high, I think Pena catches it for the out there at first, and Harris reaches on the E5. Lou Helmick, first pitch swing and flies it to right field. Rosario is there and makes the squeeze. 1 away. Helmick got a middle changeup there, but just kind of hit it off the end of the bat. 1 out. Runner on first is Harris. O'Hara at the plate. He struck out in the second inning. Parker looking back towards first at Danny Harris. Picked him off last time this was the situation. And nearly picks him off again. Goodness gracious, Danny Harris. He's playing with fire over there at first. It's a good move by Parker. Almost now nabbed him twice. You can kind of tell he wants to steal. Parker looks at him at the corner of his eye and locates a perfect breaking ball in the outside corner on O'Hara. 0-1. 2-2, top of the fourth. 1 out. Runner at first is Harris. O'Hara strike out his first time. Ballers and Paddleheads tied in the top of the fourth. 6 on the pitch timer. Outside delivery. 1-1. 1-1 count. O'Hara the lefty, Parker the righty. Harris with his lead at first. Takes a secondary after the pitch. It's popped foul out of play by O'Hara. Another breaking ball, this time over the middle, and O'Hara missed it. Mike came in hitting .356 this season. The Danville native. 16 hits, 3 of them doubles. 1-2 here. Pitch to Mike. Away with the changeup. 2 balls and 2 strikes. O'Hara digs back in left side. Slight open stance. Parker shrugs, kind of sighs, releases an exhale. Checks back at first. There's only 3 on the timer. He's got to go now. He picks off to first instead. Harris is back safely. I want to say that's his first engagement of this plate appearance. Well, actually, that might be his second. I think that's the second disengagement. So Harris could go here on 2-2. 6 on the timer. Harris does not go. O'Hara takes high and away. It's 3-2. And now this feels like a spot where Danny Harris is going. Will Parker try to pick him off again? He picked off Harris in the second inning. 3-2 the count. Harris takes his stroll off of first. Parker begins to settle. Delivers. Harris goes. O'Hara swings and pops it up. Harris has got to go back, but it's out of play. And so Harris can jog back instead of racing back. Felt like Harris might have pulled something in trying to reverse course, seeing it was a pop-up, and time is called by the first base umpire, Greg Hendricks, in accordance, acknowledging the fact that Harris is a little shaken up there at first. He was trying to steal second on that 3-2 pitch to O'Hara, but you got to be ready if it's a ball in the air to run back to the bag. See if the ballers go with the hit and run again on 3-2. They will not. O'Hara swings and ropes it foul towards the baller's dugout, right side. James Harris in the first base coach's box are just beyond it, talking to the fans just beyond the baller's dugout, teasing them about, oh, why didn't you get that ball? Looks like a group of kids there. We'll see another payoff coming from the righty Parker to the lefty O'Hara. Parker, if he disengages, has to pick off Harris or it's a balk. And there is ball 4 low. So Harris needs not steal second base. He gets there with the free pass. Great at bat from O'Hara. That could end up being a very important at bat in this game. No hits in the inning for Oakland yet. An error and a walk have put 2 on for Tatum, who popped out last time in foul ground. And it felt like he was really frustrated. It looked like he was frustrated. He had a really good at bat, fouling off pitches left and right, working the count full, but then popped out to the catcher, Perez. 2-2 game in the 4th. First to Dillon is a little bit low and outside. That actually looked like a strike. It was, I guess, a ball. I think it could have gone either way. It looked like maybe it was at the bottom of the zone. Maybe a piece of the ball caught the zone, but Perez stood up, and so it was called a ball. He was looking to backpick O'Hara at first. 1-0. Tatum swings, bounces it weakly. Third base line rolls foul. Oh, and then nicely done by Perez as it hit the lip of the grass where the clay third base line meets the grass in foul ground. That's where it hit, slowly making its way back towards fair territory, it looked like the ball. And so Perez swept it foul with his mitt. It is 1-1. If that ball was fair, it would have been a swing and bunt single for Dylan Tatum, who's on a 3-game hit streak, 4 for 10 in the hit streak. 3 of his hits for extra bases, including in his last game, a 2-run opposite field shot on Tuesday here at Oakland Park. He takes the slider outside 2-1. And he knows he's going to see something to hit here at some point in this at-bat, whether it be on 2-1 or even 3-1, because Parker does not want to load him up for Cobb. The leadoff man for the Ballers stands in the on-deck circle off to the right. 3 on the timer. Parker looks towards second and fires, and Tatum slaps it foul to the right side out of play in the air. He got a fastball down in the zone, and all he could do was foul it away. Parker's pitch count climbing. He's over 75 pitches. This could be his last inning. He'd like to pitch the 5th, though. 2-2. Tatum takes outside. It's full. And if he loads the bases here in the 4th with a walk, I would imagine there'll be a meeting on the mound with just 1 out in the frame. 2-2, Ballers and Paddleheads, top of the 4th. The runners, Harris at second, O'Hara at first. Parker with 1 on the timer delivers just in time, and Tatum strikes out. Slider, buried it. Might have been the curveball, actually. And Tatum strikes out. 2 down. 3rd strikeout for Parker brings up the leadoff man, Cobb, who's hoping to pick up a 2-out ribby here to put the Ballers back out in front. They led 2-0 entering the 3rd, or entering the bottom of the 3rd at least. Missoula tied it, though, in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Now 2 outs. Harris and O'Hara on the bases for Cobb, who's 1 for 2, singled his first time. First pitch taken for a strike. Front door slider from Parker. 0-1 on Trey. Extended his hit streak to 8 games with his first inning single. Parker set at the belt. 6 on the timer. Looks towards second. Delivers with 5. And Cobb takes another front door slider. 0-2. Cobb really frustrated he didn't pull the trigger there. That was really just a hanging breaking ball. So he digs back in, needing to protect with 2 strikes. Slightly close stance righty. Waves the bat back and forth, then holds it perpendicular to the sky. Parker with 1 delivers into the dirt. Good block by Perez, 1-2. Keeps the runners at first and second, Harris and O'Hara. 1-2 on Cobb, who has driven in 5 runs in the series, a career high 4 yesterday. And a chance with 2 outs here. The Ballers, no hits in the inning. An error and a walk have put men at first and second. Cobb the righty against Parker the righty. 1-2 count. Catcher Perez sets up high and out. And the pitch is bounced third base side into the glove and out of the glove of Gordon. His throw to first is not in time. And Cobb beats it out. He's safe. Into and out of the glove of the third baseman, Colin Gordon. And Cobb reaches on, I don't even know what to call that. I think that's got to be another error. Hit, infield hit for Cobb. It was a hot shot at Gordon, who tried to field the backhand. It honestly was a good play by Gordon, I guess you could say, because if he doesn't get his glove to that, it's down the left field line for an RBI. So he saves a run there. But the Ballers have loaded the bases with the Tremaine Cobb infield single, and it brings up Isai Santos, who did single last time, a line drive into left center, and then scored in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2 today. Santos, the Berkeley native, 6 RBI on the year, and a chance to come through with the bases loaded. He had one in an early home series against, I don't remember who it was against, but he almost went yard with the bases loaded for a grand slam. Bounces one foul of first. Got the changeup inside and was early, 0-1. But here's a big spot for Santos to come through with the bases juiced, 2 outs. Error, walk, single have loaded him up for the Ballers in the top of the 4th in a 2-2 game. Next pitch. Santos takes a really good changeup, but he does not swing. It's off the plate, 1-1. Bases loaded, 1-1 count. Harris, O'Hara, and Cobb on the bags. Santos breaks his bat, flare to short. Willman's there. He drifts out and makes the squeeze for out number 3. So the Ballers load him up. An error and a hit helped them do it, but they strand the bases loaded in the 4th. We'll head to the bottom half of the inning. Ballers and Paddleheads tied at 2 on 860 AM The Answer. 2-2 game, bottom of the fourth. Still Brody Iglite out there for Oakland. His pitch count 61. So really being worked tonight. And I guess Ballers maybe stretching him out into a starter. This is likely just a spot start for Iglite. But, you know, if he continues to pitch well, the Ballers could make him into a starter this season as maybe a 6th starter for the Ballers. Bottom of the fourth, 2-2 game. Leadoff man Carlos Perez for Missoula in this bottom of the fourth inning. Ballers left him loaded in the top of the frame. It's time for Culinary Curiosities here from Missoula. I'm Nevada Cullen. So it's time for Nevada's Culinary Curiosities, where I talk about some food I've eaten, this time in Missoula. And I got to go to a couple different local spots today in downtown Missoula. First pitch of this righty-righty battle to Perez is flown to right field. Helmick is there, drifts back a tad, and puts it away. 1 down. And today we started at Guild, the Ballers. I was there with a few members of the team. Guild is it has a bar, but also it's known for their fantastic Mexican food. And Michael O'Hara's parents recommended it to him. First pitch low, 1-0 on Sanchez. 1 out, bases empty for Missoula. 2-2 in the bottom of the fourth. And I got to say to the O'Haras, great recommendation. I had a carnitas taco with pickled onions, pork, and cotija cheese. 1-0. Strike at the bottom of the zone, 1-1. And just really, really solid tacos, freshly made corn tortillas. So Michael O'Hara with a nice impression on me in terms of his taste in food. 1-1. Fly ball off to the left, 1-2. So Guild tacos, I would honestly give the taco I had a 5 out of 5. Out of 10, maybe maybe 4.5 out of 5, maybe a 9 out of 10. It wasn't 100% perfect, no, but it was one of the better tacos I've ever eaten, honestly. 1-2 to Sanchez, the lefty. Iglite just missed, low and away, 2-2. Then I also went to a brewing company called Tamarack today in downtown Missoula, recommended by Tyler Peterson himself. Went for happy hour. 2-2, bounce to second. Harris throws on the run in time, 2 down. I had just one cocktail. It was delicious. Rye whiskey, ginger ale, lemon, and basil. It was called Rye or Reason. It was fantastic. Main reason I went there was to get some grub, and I had a delicious double smash burger with cheese and pickles and crunchy lettuce. Top notch. First to Klemp is low for a strike, 0-1. Overall, I give Tamarack an 8 out of 10. Just good food, good drinks. And they had some baseball on. They had the Giants game on, which was nice. And that has been Nevada's Culinary Curiosities. 0-1 to Klemp. A hook outside from Iglite, 1-1. Iglite falls down while backtracking and gets an applause from the audience. A little Sports Center theme. Iglite shaking his head. He was just trying to walk back to the mound casually, get the throw from Tatum, all in one motion. He's smiling there on the mound before this 1-1 pitch. It is flown foul off to the right, out of play. He's still shaking in his head. He can't believe it. He angrily snaps that baseball back. The throwback from Tatum snapped his mitt to catch it. A sign that he's maybe just a tad embarrassed, falling on his caboose while trying to walk back to the mound. 1-2, and he makes the hitter look silly. It's his first strikeout as Tatum throws it to first to retire Klemp. So Iglite, who fell onto his backside, getting a throwback from Tatum earlier in the count, strikes out Klemp on a really good breaking ball in the dirt. A half swing from Klemp to make him look like the foolish one in the bottom of the fourth. We're scoreless heading to the fifth. Well, correction, it's 2-2 heading to the fifth here on 860 AM The Answer. Start of the fifth, 2-2 game. Paddleheads and Ballers here from Missoula. Rubber match on this Thursday. 3-game series. Leaky pipes, clogged drains, step up to the plate and call the pros at Mr. Reuter Plumbing. We're the home team when it comes to reliable service. Family owned, locally trusted, and proudly serving the greater Oakland area, San Francisco, and the peninsula. With honest, dependable service, Mr. Reuter Plumbing is always ready in the bullpen. Don't let plumbing problems throw you a curveball. Mr. Reuter Plumbing is here when you need us. 3, 4, and 5 coming up for the Ballers against the starter, Nick Parker, who's thrown 85 pitches. I am not so sure he will complete this inning. Matt Taubensee is warming in the pen just in case. First pitch to Druick is a strike, 0-1. Davis today, RBI double and a walk. Druick takes a ball off the plate, 1-1. Druick with his 7th double of the season with the RBI knock in the first, up to 24 RBI. Takes a hook off the dish, 2-1. If Druick works a leadoff walk here, I'd imagine Parker will face Buford, but then a lefty might come in to face Almanza. It's hard to tell what would happen as that pitch count nears 90. It's at 88. The 89th pitch from Parker is swung on, laced to left field. It holds up for Fogel, who makes a nice sliding grab out there, 1 down. He went feet first on the slide. It's still an impressive catch from Fogel. Brings up Cam Buford. Buford today, 0 for 2, reached on an error in the third. One out, 2-2 game, top of the fifth. First to Buford, another breaking ball, and he went. 76-mile-an-hour slider off the plate, and Buford keeps offering at that pitch. Give him credit, though. Even with 2 strikes, he's gotten the ball in play both times. A fly out, and then he reached on an error. 1 out, base is empty for the Ballers. 2-2 game, top of the fifth. Outside pitch, called a ball at 87, 1-1. That was well off the plate. The fastball there from Parker, who's up to 91 pitches. Just trying to complete 5 innings. Buford bounces it foul towards the Ballers dugout, 1-2. And amazingly, Brody Iglite will go out for the Ballers. His career high is 4 innings pitched. He has never pitched into the fifth and gotten an out. Again, he's been a reliever his whole career so far in 2 years for the Ballers. This is only his second start. He went 4 his first start. 1-2. Buford swings, pops it up right side, foul ground. Pena got it. That was a spectacular grab. Racing towards foul ground, retires Buford on the pop out. 2 away. Pena made that play while leaning over the railing for out number 2. So Buford's 0 for 3. Almanza is 0 for 2 and hoping to make it 1 for 3. If Christian Almanza is to hit a 4th homer in this series, this would be a good spot for it. 2-2 game, top of the 5th against the starter, Parker. First pitch, a strike, 0-1. So Parker, who hasn't been great this season but has gotten a ton of run support, has been great today but has not received the run support that he's used to in a 2-2 game. Again, Missoula averaging 17 runs of support for him in his 3 starts this season. 1 on the timer, 0-1. Almanza swings and lofts it to right field. Rosario on the run. Can't make the catch. He slips and drops it. Almanza to second with a 2-out double. Great effort from Rosario. It was a ball that was fading fast, just 79 off the bat of Almanza, not hard hit at all. And he reaches second with his 5th double of the year. You could argue single and an error, but I think that the effort was there for Rosario. And if he hadn't have gone all out, it still could have been a double for Almanza. Now Danny Harris, broken bat, flare into left field, base hit. Almanza coming home. The throw from Fogel is offline, and Almanza scores to put the Ballers ahead, 3-2. Danny Harris with a first pitch, broken bat, flare into left field for an RBI knock. Ballers lead 3-2 in the top of the fifth. Back-to-back hits with 2 outs for the Ballers on back-to-back pitches. And I have a feeling, no, that was a middle breaking ball that broke the bat of Harris, and I think that will be it for Parker because of his pitch count. That was his 96th pitch, and the manager out there, Michael Schlacht, to take the ball from his starter, who was fantastic today, but does not complete the 5th inning. We'll tell you the pitcher that will, I believe it is Matt Taubensee, and we'll tell you about him when you return. Ballers lead Missoula 3-2 in the 5th on 860 AM The Answer. Top of the 5th, Ballers lead 3-2 on the RBI single by Danny Harris, which knocks the starter Nick Parker out of the game. Matt Taubensee enters for the Paddleheads Tuesday against Oakland. Through an inning, gave up 3 hits and 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and a home run allowed by Taubensee. A home run, let's see, he pitched the 6th inning? No, the 7th. And allowed a 2-run shot to Dylan Tatum, who's in the hole. And it looks like the Ballers will stick with their lefties, Lou Helmick and Michael O'Hara, against the lefty Taubensee, who's making his 7th appearance, 5.4 ERA, 1-0 record, 6 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 11 strikeouts. He had allowed just 2 earned runs entering Tuesday's game against Oakland. 25-year-old from Orlando, teammates with Pat Monteith for 3 years at North Greenville University, a D2 school in South Carolina. Taubensee against Helmick with a runner on first and 2 outs for the Ballers, leading 3-2, top of the 5th. Harris with his RBI broken bat single at first. Helmick takes a first pitch breaking ball that missed somewhere for ball 1. That was high, okay. I didn't think that missed high, though. Maybe TrackMan's just a pitch behind. 1-0 to Helmick. Flown foul off to the left. Fastball, and Helmick was late. 1-1. 0 for 2 today, Lou Helmick. 2 for 8 in the series. 22-year-old from Paderborn, Germany. 282 hitter. Has driven in 11. 4 doubles and 1 home run. Helmick takes low, 2-1. Taubensee did have a couple walks when he appeared on Tuesday. Those were to Druick and O'Hara. No, Bugs. O'Hara did not face him. Neither did Helmick. Helmick swing and a miss, 2-2. Actually, you know what? Taubensee did, in fact, face Helmick in the 6th inning on Tuesday, and Helmick struck out swinging. And so now, with a runner on first, and a 3-2 Ballers lead in the top of the 5th. It's a 2-2 out pitch coming from the lefty Taubensee. The lefty Helmick swings and hits it right back to him. 1 hop to the big lefty, who flips underhand to first for out number 3. So Helmick's 0 for 3, but the Ballers are in the lead after leading early. They take the lead back in the 5th. A double with 2 outs by Almanza to right field. An RBI single flared into left by Harris for the lead for the Ballers. It's 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the fifth from Missoula on 860 AM The Answer. Bottom of the fifth, the Ballers lead 3-2. Danny Harris with the go-ahead single in the top of this inning. Still Brody Iglite attempting to record it out in the fifth inning as a starter for the first time in his career. It's just his second career start. He'll face 9-1-2 in the fifth, and it's time to introduce a new segment that I teased the other day. It's called Time for Ballers Anthems, where I listen to a song recommended to me by a member of the Ballers, and I let you know whether you should listen to it or not. First to Cam Willman, high and in. Hit a homer last time up. It's 1-0. Today, James Collier, who has pitched on back-to-back days and is likely not going to pitch today for the Ballers. Rarely do you see a pitcher go 3 straight days. 1-0. Willman takes high, 2-0. James Collier recommended to me Feels So Right by Larry June and Dej Loaf. And I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I listened to it today while at Guild eating some great tacos here in Missoula. 2-0. Fouled straight back, 2-1. I'd consider it hip-hop. Feels So Right. It's perfect for driving top down over the Golden Gate Bridge. Not complex lyrically, catchy, and has a smooth beat. And James Collier, congratulations. You can have the Ox. 2-1 is a strike on the outer half. 2-2 on Willman. It was 2-0. That didn't look like a strike, if I'm being honest. I guess it was close. It was a bit low, though. Could have been called a ball. Went in Iglite's favor. He's earned that call at this point. It's 2-2, though. Yikes. Spiked a breaking ball. Well in front of the dish, and the count is full. Iglite being a bit careful here with Willman, who did take him deep in the third inning. It was an inside fastball. In on the hands, and he somehow turned it around. Chewy getting loose for the Ballers out in the bullpen. And the payoff pitch from Iglite is hit right back to him. And Iglite throws to first and has a career high. 4 1/3 for the righty. He has thrown around 75 pitches, the longest career outing out of the bullpen or starting for Brody. And he's held this vaunted Missoula lineup to 2 runs and 4 hits through 4 1/3. I mean, look, if this doesn't earn him more starts this season, I don't know what will. Ground ball just past him. He dove trying to get it. Harris Fields throws in time. Hope Brody's okay. He went all out trying to make a diving play off of the mound. We've seen Brody Iglite on the ground twice tonight. If I had a nickel for every time that happened, I've had 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. So he makes a put out 1-3, then Harris with the put out 4-3, and now it's Mike Rosario. And look, as a starter, if you can complete 5 innings without facing Roberto Pena and Adam Fogel twice, that's a huge win. Rosario fouls it off, 0-1. And Iglite has retired His last 5 retired the side in order in the 4th and the first 2 here in the 5th. 0-1 to Rosario, who's 0 for 1 with a walk today. Grounded to first, over the bag. Almanza fields and touches first. And Brody Iglite, as a starting pitcher for the first time in his career, is in line for the win. But we've got a lot of baseball left before that. He completes 5. It's 3-2 Ballers over the Paddleheads as we go to the 6th on 860 AM The Answer. Oh, little guess the lyric here. Here at Ogren Park, they're playing Hosier because he is playing the Zootown Festival, which will be July 4th weekend here in the Garden City. And I like Hosier's new album a lot, Unreal Unearth. Unfortunately, only one song was from it, so I didn't really know his older stuff as well in terms of the lyrics. So I'd give myself a failing grade here in Missoula. Sorry, they just a platter of brownies just appeared in the press box. Don't worry, Alex. I think they might be bringing us some. I feel like I have a napkin here somewhere. I need a place to put my brownie if I indeed get one. Start of the 6th, pinch hitter for the Ballers for Michael O'Hara against Matt Taubensee. It is Darryl Buggs. O'Hara was 0 for 1 in this game with a strikeout and a walk. And Aaron Miles loves to slot in right-handed hitters against left-handed pitchers and vice versa. In this case, with a righty starter, O'Hara gets the start, but Buggs finishes the game in center in all likelihood. High and away, 1-0. And the closer for Missoula, this is what I really want to look at, is Armin Sabori, and he is a lefty, so I think that's even more reason to keep Buggs in the game, even if Missoula goes to righties next out of the pen. Buggs fouls it back. It's 1-1. 3-2, Ballers lead, top of the 6th inning. No one on, no one out. Buggs leading off the frame. Taubensee got a ground out from Helmig after entering for Parker in the 5th. 1-1. Buggs swings, roasted on a line into the glove of Willman, the shortstop. 1 away. Brings up Dylan Tatum. He is 0 for 2 today, but homered off of Taubensee just a couple games ago. That was on Tuesday. 2-run homer went to the opposite field for Tatum. An oppo shot to right field for the right-handed hitter. First pitch swung on and missed. Taubensee goes with a low fastball there. 0-1. 1 out, bases empty for the Ballers, leading 3-2, start of the 6th. Next to Tatum. Swung on, lifted right field. This won't get out of play. Rosario charging in. Wilkerson out, looks like he has it, and he makes the catch, the second baseman, for out number 2. So Tatum's 0 for 3. Back to the top of the lineup for the Ballers, it is Trey Cobb's turn. Cobb on an 8-game hit streak with 2 singles today. Has his 10th multi-hit game in 18 tries. His .397 batting average is best on the Ballers. He hits with 2 outs and the base is empty. First from Taubensee. Cobb swings, breaks his bat, line drive, left field foul, and gets a new lumber tray. Hate to see a broken bat on a foul ball. Just so unsatisfying for a batter. Usually, you see a guy get a broken bat hit, and they're like, heck yeah. It went out with a bang. Not this bat. It was a well-hit ball by Trey, but it was down the line. That was an inside breaking ball thrown by Taubensee. 0-1. Next to Trey. Low. 1-1. One just missed the outside corner. Interestingly enough, there's only been one challenge in the game. It was by Missoula, and the paddleheads were correct. 1-1 on Trey Cobb, waggling the bat behind his right ear. Pitch from the lefty, Taubensee. Breaking ball low and in, 2-1. Connor Lindsay behind the plate. This is the best zone we've seen all week. Just be glad, Alex, you were not here yesterday. Both teams suffered. Ground ball to short, fielded by Willman. Throw to first in time. Ballers go down in order in the top of the sixth. 1-2-3 against Taubensee. Go to the bottom of the sixth. 3-2. Oakland leads Missoula on 8:60 a.m. The Answer. Time for the peanut inning here from Missoula. Free peanuts if Missoula scores. So, going to the bullpen of the Ballers to try to win the battle of the peanut inning in this series, because Missoula didn't score Tuesday, but they scored last night, and they scored in a big way in the sixth, scoring 4. Connor Richardson, the new pitcher for the Ballers. Richardson, the new arm for Oakland, pitched Tuesday and did give up a solo shot to Carlos Perez, who is the 4th batter due up this inning. Richardson making his 11th appearance, 2-0 record, a 0.69 ERA. 13 innings, 10 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 13 strikeouts. And his first to Roberto Pena is swung on and laced down the line fair. This is extra bases for Pena. Getting to it is Druick. He'll throw towards third. It's a leadoff double for Pena in the peanut inning. Crowd is definitely into it here in the bottom of the 6th, as Chewy has a tall task ahead in this peanut inning and keeping the Ballers in the lead. It's 3-2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Nobody out. Fogel coming up. Single and a walk today. Iglite, by the way, goes 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks and a strikeout. Tying run at second for Missoula in the bottom of the 6th inning. Fogel against Richardson with the crowd chanting peanuts. There's a strike. 0-1 on Fogel. 90-mile-an-hour heater. Top of the zone from Chewy. Runner at second is Pena after his first pitch double down the left field line. Just roped it over the head of Buford. 5 on the timer. Chewy sets. Looks at second. Comes home. Fogel swings and flies it to center. Bugs is frozen there. Pena looking at tag. Bugs catches. Pena fakes the tag. The throw is a solid one. quickly to the cutoff man Cobb, and Fogel flies out and is retired for the first time today. It's a big first out for Chewy here in the 6th. Next up, Colin Gordon. I believe the peanut inning is sponsored in some way by Texas Roadhouse. I think the packets of peanuts they throw out are Texas Roadhouse peanuts. Oh, apparently that fan really likes Texas Roadhouse. 3-2 ballers, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th. First to Gordon, the lefty, is a strike. Outside corner, 90-mile-an-hour fastball, 0-1. Gordon today, 1 for 2, a single his last time up. A single here could result in peanuts. Pena at second. Pitch. Outside. 1-1. A great start from Brody Iglite. 5 innings for the first time in his pro career. Richardson trying to keep it a 3-2 ballers lead. Dancing at second is Pena. Pitch from Chewy is outside at 90. Called a ball high and away. 2-1. Chewy's only going to pitch around Gordon so much with Perez on deck, who homered against him yesterday. Foul ball, 2-2. Big pitch coming up. Pena with his leadoff double is at second. 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-2 ballers lead. Lefty batter, Gordon 1 for 2 today. Slightly open stance. Richardson looks back towards Pena at second. Cobb covering. Pitch. Called a ball, 81, low. 3-2. Good job by Tatum not to challenge. That would have stayed a ball. Full count. Peanuts. Signs being held up throughout the ballpark. They want their free snack. 3-2. Line into center. Bugs racing in. He can't get there. Plays it on a hop. Comes up firing home. The throw is cut off by Almanza. Tie game. Peanuts and Missoula. And now the second earned run allowed by Chewy. He had not allowed an earned run this season before yesterday's game when this man hit a home run, Carlos Perez, who's coming up in this peanut inning. Missoula workers, paddleheads, employees tossing out peanuts to members of the crowd after scoring the tying run. Pena scores from second on the RBI knock by Colin Gordon to straightaway center. He's got a 2-hit game, Gordon, and his hit streak is 8. He's driven in 10 now during this hit streak. Carlos Perez, the batter, with 1 out runner at first, 3-3 game. First pitch, early swing, foul ball off to the left. We're brand new in the 6th. Chewy hoping to limit the damage to just 1 in this inning. Runner at first is Gordon after his single up the middle. Perez is 0 for 2 today, but homered against Chewy yesterday. Foul ball off to the right. It was not yesterday. That was back on Tuesday. Perez in that game went 3 for 5 with 2 RBI. His solo homer came in the 7th. Here he faces Chewy in the 6th. Connor Richardson on the bump for the ballers. He's ceded the lead. It's now tied. Runner at first is Gordon. 0-2 count. Richardson looks his way. Chewy coming set with 5 on the timer. Got to go. Instead, he checks to first. Safe is Gordon. That's the first disengagement from Connor Richardson. Digging in right side, Perez. Slight open stance righty. The righty-righty battle. Chewy comes home and grabs the zone. Strike 3 called. And that should have been a ball. Bad call by Connor Lindsay. And Perez is down looking. First strikeout for Chewy. Ballers catch a break there. It stayed too high, but Connor Lindsay called it a strike. And really today, Missoula is the team getting the bad calls. Ballers have been fortunate. 2 outs in the frame. Here's Sanchez, the lefty. First to him, brushes him back. Fastball in 1-0. 2 outs in the frame. 3-3 game, bottom of the 6th. Ballers scored 1 in the top of the 5th to take the lead. It is a tie game. 1-0 outside, 2-0. Thank you, Maddie. who works for the Paddleheads, just delivered some more brownies to Alex and I. We totally didn't already get a brownie in between innings. 2-0 drops in outside, ball 3, and Sanchez way ahead. Alex Sanchez has grounded out to the right side of the infield twice tonight. Probably has the red light here, 3-0, and takes high in the zone, 3-1 on the fastball from Chewy. So now Sanchez has the green light. Some call it a yellow light. Only swing if you can drive it on 3-1. Don't make it out in this count. Gordon could run here. He does not. The 3-1 drops in, called a strike high. I don't know why Sanchez doesn't challenge that. Missoula still has all 3 challenges left. That's the same spot as the strikeout call on Perez. It should have been a ball. Should have been ball 4. Instead, it's 3-2. The only reason Chewy's throwing that pitch is because the umpire's giving it to him. That top of the zone breaking ball that's staying high and not falling into the zone. 2 missed calls in this inning by Lindsay. Sanchez deserves a walk here. He fouls it off his foot instead. So the count remains full. 3-3, Ballers and Paddleheads in a rubber match here in Missoula. You can kind of tell here in the bottom of the 6th inning, 2 outs, runner on first, that this game obviously means more than most regular season games, because the winner of this game has an advantage in playoff positioning. If these 2 teams finish tied for second at the end of the first half, guess who goes to the playoffs? It's the winner of this game, because this is the only time these 2 teams face off all regular season. They don't play in the second half. Another 3-2 coming, runner goes. Bounce foul, good breaking ball in on Sanchez, but he fights it off to stay alive. He was early on it, of course. Bounced it down that right field line. Sanchez 1 for 11 in the series. Chewy trying to get him out and finally end this 6th inning. Runner at first, Gordon gets the jump. 3-2 pitch. Inside, ball 4. And Chewy walks him. Great at bat from Sanchez to bring up Klemp, the DH. So Chewy working his 2nd game of the series and his 11th game of the season. Not his best stuff. He has a sub-1 whip this season, but he's allowed 3 base runners this inning. Whip is walks plus hits divided by innings pitched, so 1 is a really good whip. Under 1 is amazing, but 3 on in this inning. Klemp first pitch swing and bounces it to short. Cobb goes the long way to first and just gets Klemp for out number 3. Paddleheads tie it, though, in the peanut inning. They get an RBI single by Colin Gordon to score Pena after his leadoff double down the left field line. And it's 3-3 heading to the 7th on 860 AM The Answer. New pitcher, top of the 7th inning. It is Jake Dixon making his debut in the Pioneer League, the 3/4 delivery from the left-handed thrower, 24-year-old from Fresno, California. Acquired via trade Monday from the Ottawa Titans of the Frontier League for a player to be named later. And a corresponding move, Miguel Alba was placed on the IL, retroactive to June 6th. Dixon drafted by the Cleveland organization in the 39th round of the 2019 MLB draft from Sanger High School in California. Then he went to Fresno State and then Ottawa. Spent parts of 2 years with the Ottawa Titans of the Frontier League and had a 17 ERA this season with Ottawa. His first is a strike to Isai Santos, 0-1. 3-3 game here in the top of the 7th, no one out. Dixon, in his collegiate career, had a 5.41 ERA, 16-16 record. Was a starter. Santos takes outside, breaking ball. Heavy slider, 1-1. But started 55 games for Fresno State in his tenure there. Did this lefty, Dixon. 1-1. That's outside, 2-1. 279.2 innings pitched at Fresno State, 342 hits, 90 walks to 269 strikeouts. So he's got great stuff. At Ottawa last year, had a 2.81 ERA. 2-1 hammer to right field, but it holds up for Rosario. Good swing from Santos, but he lines out. One down here in the top of the 7th. Base is empty for the Ballers. 3-3 Ballers and paddleheads. Lefty Dixon next faces Davis Druick, another lefty. Looks like a good time to look at scores from around the Pioneer League tonight. Top of the 9th, or maybe final from Ogden. Great Falls, yep, it's final. Great Falls loses again. That's 16 in a row for the Voyagers. First to Druick, nearly fell to a knee there, 0-1. Swung at the breaking ball. 9-6 win for the Raptors tonight against Great Falls. That is a sweep in that 3-game series. Raptors play the Ballers in a 3-game set starting tomorrow. 0-1 to Druick. Takes outside. Good hold on the slider. 1-1. Top of the 8th in Grand Junction, they lead the Owls of Northern Colorado 11-8. Looks like a knockout round in Billings. Vibes and Mustangs a 3-3 tie. That's the score here. Druick takes a strike, bottom of the zone, 1-2. Boise also with 3 runs in the top of the 5th at Idaho Falls. But the Checkers have 19, and so they're winning by 16. Carson Lambert, meanwhile, warming up for the Ballers. He'll get the 7th. Druick swings and hits one deep to center. Sanchez is there, puts it away. Nonchalant catch for out number 2. Brings up Cam Buford with 2 down and the base is empty. 3-3 Ballers and paddleheads here in the top of the 7th. Also, bottom of the 3rd, Glacier leads Yuba Sutter 1-0. Yuba Sutter beating Glacier back-to-back nights with a knockout round victory. And those are your scores for around the Pioneer League on this Thursday evening. First pitch, high and away to Buford, 1-0. I'll try to find the winner of that knockout round in Billings. Next pitch misses. 2-0 on Buford. He is 0 for 3 today. Billings won the knockout round. Wow, thank you for checking that. So that means Billings beats Rocky Mountain for the 2nd straight day. That is important for the Ballers. 2-0. Tap foul, 2-1. Because now if we look at the Pioneer League standings, the Ballers with a win tonight would be a game and a half back of 2nd place. And if you're looking at it from Missoula's point of view, if they're victorious tonight, they'll be a half game back of 2nd place. Outside, a strike. 2-2 on Buford. I think actually the Ballers would, I guess, be a 2 games back of 2nd place with a win tonight. No, a game and a half. I was right. 2-2. Buford swings and lines one into the gap in right center field. It's a 2-out hit for Buford. Stops at first with his first knock of the game. Ballers have struggled to get the leadoff man on since the first few innings. They did so in the 1st, the 2nd, and the 4th. But now they have 2-out knocks in the last 2 of the last 3 innings. Here's Christian Almanza with 2 down, lefty-lefty battle. Runner at first is Buford after the single into right. 3-3 game, top of the 7th. First to Christian. He's taken in the dirt. 1-0. Almanza last time double to right field. Hoping to come up with a clutch 2-out knock here. 1-0. 5 on the pitch timer. Pitch from Dixon. Almanza fouls it off to the left. 1-1 count. Jake Dixon, a new pitcher, making his Pioneer League debut tonight. Former Ottawa Titan of the Frontier League, facing the lefty, Christian Almanza. Both California natives. Almanza waves and misses at a good slider. 1-2. Runner at first is Buford with 2 down. 3-3 games, top of the 7th. 1-2 Dixon's ahead of Almanza. 2 on the timer. Pitch. Bends in. Too far inside. That was the breaking ball again. Tried to front door the lefty Almanza. He took ball 2. Deuces wild, top of the 7th. 2-2, 2 outs. 3-3 the score. Buford the runner at first. He had a 2-out knock into right. Next to Almanza. From Dixon. Check to swing. He apparently offered, says the home plate umpire, Connor Lindsay, and so Almanza is down swinging. It's the first strikeout of Dixon's Pioneer League career, and Buford is left stranded at first base in the inning after the 2-out single. Time to stretch here from Missoula. 3-3 Paddleheads and Ballers on 860 AM The Answer. New on for the Ballers in the bottom of the 7th in a 3-3 game between Oakland and Missoula. Winner of this takes the 3-game series. It's Carson Lambert coming on for Chewy. And for Lambeau, he is making his 10th appearance of the year. 11 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 2 walks, and 12 strikeouts for the right-hander, 6'4", 25 years old from Thousand Oaks, California. Lambeau Tuesday pitched a scoreless inning despite allowing 2 hits against the Paddleheads. Places Chewy, who goes an inning, gives up 2 hits and an earned run, a walk, and a strikeout. 9-1-2 to face Lambeau, the righty. It begins with Cam Willman, who's 1 for 2 with a home run today. An important homer in the 3rd. Takes an outside fastball at 93 for strike 1. I'm Nevada Cullen. Chris Dorr is back in our 860 AM The Answer studios. Thanks for tuning in on your Thursday evening from the Garden City. Swing and a miss. Changeup from Lambeau off the plate, and Willman chased. 0-2. Willman, the Bakersfield, California native, calls time. Again, the former teammate of Oakland's catcher, Dylan Tatum. They played together in 2023. Also, former teammate of Reed Butts. They played together summer ball. Willman and Butts both playing for the Bismarck Larks of the Northwoods League. 0-2. High at 94, no chase, 1-2. Leading off the bottom of the 7th, Willman. about time to bring up the Pioneer League all-name team. Ground ball foul, 1 and 2, where I pick a player from each team and add them to the list. So far, the lone representative was Rain Supple, Glacier's starting pitcher from the other day. Now we get a reliever, and it is Missoula's Jonathan Larga Espada who joins the all-name team. 1-2 outside, 2 and 2. And there was no one with a cool first name, so I have to go with cool last names for the paddleheads. And Larga Espada has a certain meaning in Spanish that's very funny and cool. And Willman rips it into left center field, base hit. Bugs trying to cut it off and keep him to a single. Willman trying for 2. As Bugs kicks it, it's a leadoff double for Willman here in the 7th. Anyway, Larga Espada in Spanish means long sword, which is, if you think about it, Jonathan Longsword. Yep, that'll get you on the all-name team. So congratulations to Jonathan Larga Espada. You have joined the squad. He joins Glacier's Rain Supple in that excellent pitching staff. We'll have to get some hitters next. Missoula trying to take the lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Cam Willman with the leadoff double. He has 2 extra base hits in this game. Brings up Colby Wilkerson. Corners drawn, expecting bunt. First pitch, not bunting. Takes 94 in for ball 1. Now let's see if he shows. Wilkerson this season has 1 sacrifice bunt, 14 in his career at North Carolina through 4 years for the Tar Heels. The leadoff hitter today on 1-0. Swings away and hits it foul off to the left, 1-1. So now, if you're going to show bunt late in at bat, this is when you do it. After you get a chance to swing away and have a strike on you. So let's see on this 1-1 pitch. He's seen back-to-back fastballs if Wilkerson drops one down to put Willman at third base. Corner still slightly shaded in. Not bunting. Takes low. 2-1. If Wilkerson gets on with a walk, I would expect Rosario to bunt for Pena and Fogel due up after him. So this is a big pitch here on 2-1. Lambert with 5 on the timer, looks towards second, delivers. Foul ball off to the left. Out of play, 2-2. 3-3, ballers and paddleheads from Missoula, bottom of the 7th inning. Leadoff double from Cam Willman. Missoula got a leadoff double from Pena in the 6th and then scored in the peanut inning. Crowd got free peanuts. No peanuts on the line here, but the lead is on the line. And Wilkerson lines it, 1 hop to short, Cobb to first, in time, 1 down. That one looked like it was going to be hit right at Willman. Willman had enough time to get back to second to avoid being thrown out on the base paths. If he would have started towards third, Cobb would have thrown it to Buford for the out. Instead, still a runner in scoring position for Mike Rosario. Now the paddlehead's not bunting for sure. With 1 out. Infield can play standard depth against Rosario, who's 0 for 2 today with a walk. Lefty hitter. First pitch, high and in at 94, 1-0. Rosario on a 9-game hit streak has driven in 17 in his last 9 games. 3 yesterday. Wearing the pink batting gloves. Slight open stance lefty. Pitch from the righty, Lambert. Is crushed. High and deep right center field. Bugs on the run. Makes the grab in the alleyway. Hurls it in. And Willman has to stay at second. Bugs robbed Rosario of extra bases there. 2 down. That was crushed 98 off the bat. 371 feet to right center. And the jump that Bugs gets there is perfect. And that's the only way he tracks that down. He didn't even have to dive for it. 2 away for Roberto Pena, who is now looking for a clutch 2-out RBI. He is 1 for 2 today. Fly out to center, sac fly to center for an RBI, and then a leadoff double in the 6th. Willman had the leadoff double here in the 7th. First to Pena's popped up. Harris at second. Amon's at first. Who wants it? It's Harris, the second baseman. Puts it away for out number 3. Leadoff double in the inning, but Lambo keeps his ERA at 0, getting the next 3 he faces with a little help from his friends. Darryl Buggs with a great catch out in center field. And we go to the 8th, still tied 3-3, Oakland and Missoula. here from Ogren Park on 860 AM The Answer. Jake Dixon, who used to be a starter, going multiple innings, it seems, in his Pioneer League debut. No one warming in the Missoula pen, and he's here to start the 8th. This game only has 12 outs left in it, and the teams each have scored 3 runs. Your line score at this point is nearly identical. Ballers, 3 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. Missoula, 3 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors. Ballers will send 6, 7, and 8 to the plate against Jake Dixon, who allowed a Cam Buford 2-out single, but struck out Almanza to end the 7th without any damage. Traded to Missoula from Ottawa for a player to be named later on Monday. And first he faces is Harris, who grounds one to third. High hop for Gordon. His throw to first in time, 1 down. 1 pitch out for Dixon to start the 8th. And Sully's getting loose for the Ballers. So it looks like Connor Sullivan will go 2 innings again for the Ballers. They did that a lot with him last season, but with the importance of this game, you cannot afford, neither team, they both know they cannot afford to lose this game. Both are going to give it their best shot in this rubber match. It's only game 21 of the season, and yet both managers are really going for it because of the playoff implications. First pitch to the pinch hitter, Pat Monteith, is a strike, 0-1. Monteith hitting in place of Lou Helmick, who was 0 for 3 today. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Monteith quickly behind. Going to a righty in place of a lefty, trying to just come up with a pinch hit here. He has 4 pinch hit base hits this season. Monteith takes high and away, 1-2. Hitting in place of Helmick, so Monteith likely to stay in this game in right field. 1 out, bases empty for the Ballers, 3-3 game, top of the 8th. 1-2 pitch from Dixon. Monteith takes way off, 2-2. 4 for 7 with a homer and 2 walks as a pinch hitter so far this season for Pat Monteith. Was 0 for 3 yesterday, though, and is 1 for 5 in the series. Two way off the plate, 3-2. Actually, I think he's now 5 of 9 as a pinch hitter with a homer and 2 walks, because he was a pinch hitter back on Tuesday when he went 1 for 2. Had a strikeout in his first at bat, but then an RBI single in his second pitch hit at bat in the 9th inning in the Ballers' 16-7 win. Payoff coming now to Monteith after it was 0-2. And he takes an awkward hack at a really good breaking ball that went backdoor on the righty for out number 2. Second strikeout for Dixon. And here's Bugs, who pinch hit in the 6th against Taubensee. Taubensee went an inning and a third hitless today. Righty Bugs, lefty Dixon. First pitch, breaking ball low, 1-0 into the dirt. So we saw Bugs stay in this game and make a great catch defensively in the bottom of the 7th, robbing Mike Rosario. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Robbed Rosario of a 1-out run-scoring extra base hit in right center. That's the biggest play of this game so far. 1-1 count, 5 on the timer for the lefty Dixon. Pitch to the righty Bugs. Bends in, called a strike outside. Ballers haven't challenged yet. Bugs could have challenged, but chose not to. I guess this isn't really the place to, with 2 outs in the inning. And the base is empty. It wasn't a missed call, though. It was off the plate, so he was right. Bugs grounds one foul of third, 1-2. He would have been right to challenge. But I guess with that foul ball, there would have been 2 strikes anyway. That was a good pitch at the bottom of the zone from Dixon. 1-2 count. Base is empty, top of the 8th. 3-3 game, Ballers and Paddleheads. Dixon looking for a second straight scoreless inning. Bugs hits it sharply off the mound towards short. Willman throw to first in time for the out. 6-3 put out. Ballers in order go down in the 8th. Paddleheads will start with the Pioneer League MVP Adam Fogel in the bottom of the 8th inning, needing just 1 run to take the lead against Oakland. But Connor Sullivan is entering for the Ballers on 860 AM The Answer. Change for the Ballers defensively. Monteith stays in the game in right field. And also a change on the mound in this 3-3 game in the bottom of the 8th. It's Connor Sullivan to pitch the final 2 frames for Oakland. The league leader in saves, tied with Armin Sabori of the Missoula Paddleheads. Will try to shut down Missoula in these final 2 innings. Sabori, meanwhile, will likely get the top of the 9th for Missoula. I'd be shocked if not. Sabori did pitch yesterday, though, for the Paddleheads. Sully making his 9th appearance, .93 ERA. 9 2/3 innings, 5 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, a .72 whip. And Sully has not pitched yet in this series. So the last time he threw was Sunday against Glacier. He made 3 appearances in the series and did have 2 hitless innings on Wednesday, that second game against Glacier, and the Ballers won in a knockout round. Locates a strike outside on Fogel, 0-1. Sully, perfect 9th on Sunday, but that 2-inning performance without allowing a hit, that's what he's trying to do today to force another knockout round in a 3-3 game today. Next to Fogel is tap foul. Sully, a side-arming righty. Throws from way outside. Is ahead of Fogel, who is 1 for 2 today with a single, a walk, and a fly out to center. Bottom of the 8th, 3-3 game. Paddlehead scored in the 6th to tie it, trying to score in the 8th to take the lead. Fogel, their MVP a season ago, swings and flies one to right field, hooking foul. It's onto the party deck and off one of the big white tents out there. Still 0-2 on Fogel. He had to fight there on 0-2, got a fastball high and away. And that was actually in the zone. I doubt he'd see something in the zone here on 0-2. Probably a slider from Sully. And he does throw the slider, but it's tapped foul. Good fight from Fogel. 4-game hit streak for Fogel. Hits in all 3 games of this series. And doubled in the first 2 games of this series. You know he's hoping for a 2-strike hit here. Righty battle. Sully from the windup. Delivers with 3 and hits him. Oh, man. That is not what you want. 90-mile-an-hour fastball, high and tight. Gets the go-ahead run on for Missoula here in the bottom of the 8th. He hit him on 0-2. That's just tough luck. He tried to go in on Fogel, but Fogel, who's a big guy, got drilled by the pitch. Was hit 16 times last year. That's his 3rd time being hit this season. Fogel aboard. Missoula, in a 3-3 game, gets the go-ahead run on base with nobody out in the bottom of the 8th, and Colin Gordon is next. Hits in his last 2 at-bats, including an RBI single. First toss to the lefty. A swung on, popped up into left. Drew it, should catch it, and does. 1 away. 1 pitch out for Silly. You can excuse hitting Fogel if he gets the next 3 guys. He gets Gordon. Next has to face Perez, who's 0 for 3 today. His streak of 3 straight games with 2 or more hits will likely end tonight unless – no, I don't think it's – I don't know. It would have to be a big 8th inning, and then he'd have to get up again in the 9th. He is hitless today. He takes high at 90 miles an hour. No challenge from the ballers, and correctly no challenge because Connor Lindsay does correctly call out a ball too tall on the fastball to Perez. Only his 42nd career game for the Paddleheads, despite it being his 2nd year. Sully misses high again, 2-0. Perez did not play a full year last year, just 25 games, joining late in the season after finishing his collegiate career at the University of Miami for the Hurricanes. Fogel at first with 1 out, 3-3 game, bottom of the 8th. 2-0 from Sully. Perez cuts and misses at a nice breaking pitch there. The slider from Sully off the plate, 2-1. Perez a strikeout looking last time. Lambeau, by the way, goes a scoreless 7th inning. Gives up a leadoff double, but no runs. Pop up on the infield. First baseman Almanza sees it because Tatum does not. And Almanza makes the catch from first. Nice grab. A foul out for Perez to Almanza. He caught the ball near home plate. Brings up Alex Sanchez. Sanchez today 0 for 2 with a walk. Runner at first is Fogel. The go-ahead run in the bottom of the 8th, but now 2 down. First is Sanchez, the lefty. Is too high at 90. 1-0. Sully hoping to retire Sanchez. He has to pitch 2 innings, and you don't want to inflate the pitch count in the 8th. Line drive, left field. Druitt gets twisted and makes a leaping catch. Oh, my goodness. He misread that ball. His first step looked like it was in. Then he had to backpedal and make a jumping catch to grab the line out by Sanchez. So Sully and the Ballers escaped the 8th, stranding Fogel after he was hit on an 0-2 pitch. We go to the 9th, 3-3 game. It's smelling like a knockout round here at Ogren Park on 860 AM The Answer. The closer from Missoula enters in the 9th, so both closers have entered this game trying to send it to the knockout round. Tied at 3 in the top of the 9th from the Garden City. Ballers win game 1, 16-7. Oakland loses game 2 to the Paddleheads, 12-7. Now, the runs have been at a premium today. 3-3 game, Ballers led 3-2, and then Missoula tied it in the bottom of the 6th with a run. Both teams scoreless so far in the final 3 innings, but here in the 9th, we'll see if either team can score and win it. Sabori, the joint league leader in saves with 4 with Sully, pitched last night in the 12-7 win and threw a scoreless and hitless 9th. A walk and a strikeout for the 26-year-old left-hander. 1.8 ERA, 10 appearances, 4 saves, 10 innings, 4 hits allowed, that's all. He has walked 11. He has also struck out 11. And the Santa Clara native faces 9-1-2 for the Ballers, starting with Dylan Tatum. First pitch is taken for a ball. That was a little bit high, 1-0. Both teams have 3 challenges remaining. Oakland has not challenged in this game. Got to use them now in the 9th. No takebacks. 1-0. Tatum, broken bat flare, over Sabori. It lands harmlessly on the infield, and Tatum reaches. The ball's then kicked. Tatum was putting on a hard 90 to first, and we'll see if he gets pinch run for. Tatum with the leadoff knock in the 9th. Who do the Ballers have on their bench? Winning run is on. Go-ahead run, I should say, in the top of the 9th. It would, I guess, be Leahy, but Tatum will run. Ballers will keep him on the bases for now with that infield bloop broken bat single extending his hit streak to 4. He was 0 for 3 before that at bat. Turns the lineup over to Tremaine Cobb Jr. First pitch from Sabori is low and in, 1-0. 3-3, top of the 9th. Ballers get the leadoff man on for the first time since the 4th inning when Harris reached on an error. Taking his lead at first is Tatum. Pitch to Cobb, high and away, 2-0. That was just a broken bat flare over the head of Sabori. Missoula had no chance. That's why Tatum's on first. The 2-0 to Trey Cobb. High and tight, 3-0. And if Sabori does walk him, Isai Santos is on deck. And the Ballers would have the go-ahead run with nobody out on second base. Cobb, in a 3-0 count, has a red light. The catcher sets up outside. That's Perez. 1 on the pitch timer. Outside ball 4. I think he did start the motion right before it expired, so it doesn't matter in the end. But that was awful close to a pitch timer violation. Sabori in a bit of trouble here. The closer for Missoula has allowed an infield bloop single, which really was not his fault. He made a really good pitch. But then walked Cobb on 4 pitches and now faces Isai Santos, who's trying to put the Ballers in front. No, this is not Isai Santos. Tyler Lozano pinch hitting. Right-handed batter against the lefty, so Santos is removed. This will not make things complicated defensively because Santos was the DH, and now it's Lozano, the DH. Chance for Tilo to be a hero. He is very much a leader of this team. 25 years old, his 2nd year with the Ballers, and he's the only returning field player. And a chance here for Tilo to come up clutch. Ballers catcher hitting .308 this year with 3 RBI, was 1 for 4 yesterday. Comes off the bench today and hits in the 9th in a 3-3 game with 2 on and none out. First from Sabori. Squares to bunt. Drops it down perfectly. Pouncing on it, Perez. The throw to third in time. And Tatum is out. What a huge play as Perez pounced on that bunt. Just hit in front of home plate. It wasn't a bad bunt by any means, but because he had to go to the cut where the grass meets the dirt in front of home. And he makes the play to throw out Tatum. It's a fielder's choice, and Santos, or Lozano, I should say, reaches. Lozano at first, Cobb at second. Tatum is out 2-5. 1 out for Davis Druick. Still 2 on for the Ballers. Still the go-ahead run at second base. That is Cobb. Now it's up to Davis Druick, who is 1 for 3 today with a walk, an RBI double, but flyouts in his last 2 plate appearances. Lefty-lefty battle, 3-3 game, top of the 9th. First from Sabori. Druick takes a breaking ball off the dish, 1-0. Crowd doesn't think so, but it did just miss the plate. It looked like a strike, I'll say that much. Both teams still have all 3 challenges, 1-0. Druick takes a strike, top of the zone. He chooses not to use a challenge. He was correct not to. It did clip the top of the zone. In the 9th yesterday, Sabori did face Druick, got him to ground out to shortstop. 1-1 pitch next. Druick swings and bounces it foul of third, 1-2. Sabori a pitch away from a huge second out. The Ballers got 2 on with none out in this inning. And then a failed sacrifice by Lozano got Tatum thrown out at third. So now it's Cobb and Lozano the base runners. And Druick behind in the count 1-2. Sabori can waste a pitch here. 5 on the timer. 3 delivers. Outside 2-2. No chase. That looked like a good slider from Sabori there. No, that was the fastball. That was off the plate. Whoops. Now it's 2-2. Count even. Druick, 24 RBI after his RBI double back in the first. The Ballers 3-hitter. 5 on the timer. Sabori, the lefty, delivers with 3. Druick swings, bounces it right side, could be 2. Throw to second for 1. Throw to first. Will not get Druick. Runners at the corners with 2 down. 4-6 for the putout. Cobb reaches third. And Druick is safe on the second straight fielder's choice. So now it's up to Cam Buford, who is, I'd say due, but he was 0 for 3 and then singled in the 7th. So he's not exactly due, but he's hoping to put the Ballers up 4-3 in the 9th. With 2 outs, men at the corners, Cobb is the go-ahead run at third. First pitch to the right-handed hitter is taken for a strike, bottom of the zone. Buford smartly challenges, even though it's a strike. It's 0-1. Just did clip the bottom, but that's a good place for Buford to use the challenge, because if he's correct, then he's in a 1-0 count. Instead, it's 0-1. Druick at first, Cobb at third. Top of the 9th, 3-3 game, Missoula and Oakland. Game 3 of the series. Inside on Buford, 1-1. This is game 3 of a 3-game series. The first and one of 2 3-game series the Ballers will play this week. The only 2 3-game series the Ballers play this season. And the winner of this series has the head-to-head advantage for the rest of the season in terms of playoff positioning. 1-1 to Buford. Swung on and chopped. Slowly, third base line. It goes foul. That was very nearly a go-ahead infield hit that was chopped down the third base line at an exit velo that didn't even register on TrackMan. It was hit too slowly to come up. And Sabori is 1 pitch away from stranding Cobb, the go-ahead run, 90 feet away at third. Time called by Buford. He has the matchup advantage against the lefty Sabori, but Sabori has the advantage being up 1-2. Men at the corners for the Ballers in the 9th. A failed sacrifice has definitely affected this inning, but Buford can still put the Ballers ahead. 1-2 is next. Sabori delivers. Buford swings, bounces it, left side, fielded by Gordon. Throw to first, offline. It's a wild throw. Ballers lead. Druick waved home. The throw from Pena is well in time, and Druick is out by a country mile. But Oakland leads 4-3 in the 9th. Gordon throws it away, and it's 4-3 Ballers. Sully trying to lock down the win and the series win here in Missoula. Okay, what was he doing going home on that?
I guess he thought they weren't on it. So.
Right.
Just take the fucking second base out. Just take it out at second base.
Yeah, you're right. That would have been the smart play there. He was running towards second. Why didn't he throw? Why didn't he throw it there? Sorry for the hot mic. That was on YouTube. Bottom of the ninth. Ballers lead 4-3 after the error that ended the ninth inning. The Ballers got the first two on, then a failed sacrifice meant one out and runners at first and second. Fielder's choice got a runner to third. The go-ahead run, Cobb, at third base. Buford down to his final strike in the at-bat. Bounces one slowly to third. And Gordon had to make a tough play. Did not make the throw to second. He could have very well thrown to second to get the force out there of Druick. Instead, tried to get it to first and yanked it wide of Pena. They did throw out Druick, trying to score from first on the play. And now Connor Sullivan is 3 outs away from giving the Ballers the win. 8-9-1 to bat for the Paddleheads. First pitch flown into right field. Does Monteith see it? He doesn't see it. Yes, he does. He fooled me. Woo, one down. It looked like he was holding both arms out there to say, where's the ball? It was hit right to him, though, and he makes the catch, one down. Silly hoping for a quick ninth inning to keep things uninteresting here in Missoula. Here's Cam Willen. Strike on the outside corner. 0-1. 0-1 count. Ballers up 4-3 in the bottom of the ninth. Pitch to Willman. Outside, ball one. Willman homered earlier in this game and then doubled his last time up. He's been Missoula's best hitter today. The 9-hitter is 2 for 3. Next from Sully is flown foul off to the right, 1-2. A 3-game series of the utmost importance for the Oakland Ballers. If they do get the final 2 outs. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Slider away from Willman, and he chased Sully with his first strikeout. The Ballers are 1 out away from a series win in Missoula against the Paddleheads. This is a Paddlehead team that's been one of the best in the league. If not, you could argue over the past 4 years since the Pioneer League has been not an affiliated league anymore. They've been the best team in the league. First to Wilkerson is a ball off the plate, 1-0 at 84. 2 outs, 4-3, Ballers lead. Bottom of the ninth inning. Wilkerson, the leadoff man, 1 for 4. Sully trying to go 2 innings during the win. Wilkerson takes off the plate, called a strike, 1-1. Why is Wilkerson not challenging that? Missoula has all 3 challenges left, and that was a ball. Either way, it's 1-1. Pitch from Sully. Swing and a miss. 1-2. The Ballers and Paddleheads have played an excellent game of baseball tonight. Great pitching, great defense, and clutch hitting. The error in the ninth has given the Ballers the 4-3 lead. Now the 1-2 from Sully. Outside and away. Wilkerson bumped up to the leadoff spot for the 3rd time this season because of the series he's had. 3 for 4 Tuesday, 2 for 4 with an RBI, 2 extra base hits yesterday, but down 2-2 in the count here. Sullivan, the right-hander, working from the windup. The lefty, Wilkerson, waits. He comes home with 2. Foul ball off to the left. Remains 2-2. One run in the ninth to take the lead for the Ballers on an error by Missoula. Wilkerson digs back in left side. Sully is ready. Works from the windup. Pitch. Outside, called a ball. That was off the plate. No challenge from Tatum. He knew it. It's a good take from Wilkerson. If he walks, then the tying run gets on for Missoula. And the winning run gets to the plate in Mike Rosario. So Wilkerson's going to see a pitch to hit on 3-2. That's a drive to right field. Has he tied this game? Yes, he has. Colby Wilkerson ties it for Missoula in the 9th. Connor Sullivan allows just his second earned run all year. And the rookie, Wilkerson, with Missoula down to its final strike, hits a solo shot to right field. 2 outs, 4-4. Bottom of the 9th. Rosario trying to win it. Sully attempting to send us to the knockout round. First to the lefty. Rosario cuts and misses. That last pitch just caught, you could say too much of the plate, but Sully, he didn't want to walk the guy. You don't want to get the winning run to the plate. Now the winning run's at the plate after the game-tying homer. Ground ball to second. Danny picks it up. Harris to first. Knockout round, here we come. 4-4 after 9. It'll be, all accounts, be Cam Buford for the Ballers against, I would imagine, either Roberto Pena or Adam Fogel for the Missoula Paddleheads. And we will take a break here on 860 AM The Answer. We'll talk about the game itself when we return, and then we'll preview the knockout round here on 860 AM The Answer. Connor Sullivan gives up a game-tying homer in the 9th. 4-4 your score. Knockout round here in Missoula. So let's go over this game real quick as the Ballers and the Paddleheads tie 4-4. It was a game dominated by pitching, and a few mishaps defensively seriously impacted this game. It's a 4-4 final, and here's how it happened. The Ballers scored first in the first inning. RBI double by Davis Druick to put Oakland up 1-0. Then in the third, the Ballers doubled their lead 2-0 on the Cam Buford hit. It was ruled an error, and it scored Santos to make it 2-0. Missoula in the bottom of the third scored 2. Solo shot by Cam Willman, then a sac fly by Roberto Pena to tie it 2 apiece. Ballers scored in the top of the 5th to take a 3-2 lead on an RBI single by Danny Harris, but Missoula tied it in the bottom of the 6th on an RBI single by Colin Gordon. Then, on an error by Buford, Tremaine Cobb scored in the 9th. Ballers took the 4-3 lead. It looked like the Ballers would win this game to take the series in regulation, but the solo shot by Colby Wilkerson on a 1-2 count, or a 3-2 count, I should say, was hit to right field down that line. It's a short porch to right field, so he didn't even have to hit it that far, 287 feet to right. That's to the line. To get it out, you got to hit it a bit higher. But anyway, Wilkerson hit the game-tying homer off of Sully, who gives up just his second earned run of the season. And here we are in the knockout round. Now, both teams have competed in at least one knockout round this season. Ballers 2 and Missoula 1. Missoula lost a knockout round to Glacier, I believe. Yes, and it was Kingston Liniak beating Roberto Pena in the knockout round 1-0. Ballers have had 2. Tremaine Cobb won 1-0 at home. Cam Buford 5-0 on the road. It'll be Cam Buford today as we start the knockout round here from Missoula. Can he hit 5 again? Probably not, as he almost gets hit by the second pitch from James Harris, but we're underway. Now he swings and launches one high to left field. Buford on his first swing is short. 1 out. Second pitch swung on lace to center. This one more of a line drive, 2 outs. This is where he started last time. He took pitches afterwards, and he takes the next pitch here. 2 outs so far for Buford. Third pitch, launch to left field. Deep. Has he done it? No, it's short. 3 outs. Next to Buford, he takes. He's got to get at least 1 to put pressure. Buford launches towards the scoreboard. Left center field. This is not the right part of the park to hit it. And he's short again. 4 outs. He's got to get 1. Buford waits. He's got a minute left. 1:05 in the knockout round. He swings and crushes one on a line left field. It's high. It is over the wall. And he gets 1. Buford next pitch taken. He's got 4 outs and 1 home run. Next pitch popped up. So he gets 1. This is not 5, but it puts a little bit of pressure on Pena. He's got to hit 2. It's Roberto Pena, who could not hit a home run against Glacier in the knockout round for Missoula the last time they faced. Buford with a disappointing performance today, but he at least gets 1. Missoula trying to get a knockout round victory to win this series against the Ballers. The Ballers took game 1 of the series 16-7. Missoula won game 2 12-7. And this game, Missoula down to its final strike. Colby Wilkerson hit a home run to right field to tie it and send it to the knockout round. Now, here we go. Righty hitter and Roberto Pena takes a pitch, and we're underway. In his part of the knockout round, he swings and flies it to right field. Going for that short porch out there. Does it have the distance? No. It one-hops the wall. Now he grounds it to the left side foul. 2 outs for Pena. Again, he did not hit a homer in the knockout round against Glacier. He takes a pitch for a ball. That's 7 swings in the knockout round for him without a homer. He crushes this one, though. Center field. 398. He's got to get it. He's short. 3 outs. 2 more swings and the Ballers win. But Pena swings and lines it. Left field. It's down. He's down to his final out. Buford hit his when he was down to his final out. Can Pena get it over? He's taken 9 swings in 2 knockout rounds, and he hasn't hit 1. He takes a pitch. He's got 1:10 left, plenty of time. Pena swings, crushes it, left field. Is it fair? That's the question. It is fair, and we're tied. The Ballers can't believe it. We're tied at 1. Davis Druick is talking to the crowd. This can win it, but he grounds it, and we'll have a second knockout round here in Missoula. And the Ballers cannot believe it was called fair by Cody Kernut. They thought it hooked foul of the pole, and we have no way to tell. This is the first time for both teams that there'll be a second knockout round. It looked like it curled foul of the pole. I wonder if the umpires can talk about this. Kernut and Lindsay, no, they won't. So who's next? It's Christian Almanza for the Ballers. Almanza has never competed in the knockout round. Both teams get 1 in the knockout round, and both down to their final out. Buford's a line drive, and Pena's a hooking shot down the line. It'll be Adam Fogel for Missoula against Christian Almanza for the Ballers. Almanza has hit 3 home runs in this series, none today. And it is deep to right field. You got to hit it 409 feet to get it out to right center here in Missoula. So here's the Stockton native, Christian Almanza, competing in his first ever knockout round. A little preview for Saturday when the Ballers will compete in a home run derby at the Ogden Raptors. It'll be Buford and Almanza to compete then. So this is almost a warm-up for that for Almanza. But this decides the series, this 3-game series, a 4-4 tie after 9 innings. Both teams get 1 in the first round, and Almanza takes a pitch. We're underway in the second knockout round. Next pitch, line drive, 1 out. Almanza, the lefty, home runs 7 this season.
Next pitch, Almanza, another line drive. He's got to get it up. 2 outs. Again, Buford didn't hit one until his final out. Next pitch from Harris. Almanza takes. That's always a good decision after 2 straight outs. Now Almanza swings. Hits a towering drive. Right center field. Does it have the distance? No, it's off the bottom of the wall. 3 outs. Almanza just missed it. Next pitch. Inside. He just took 2 pitches. He has not hit a homer. And he swings and pops it up. 4 outs. He should take a couple more pitches. He's got 1:10 on the clock. A lot of pressure on Almanza. He takes. Next from Harris. Almanza swings and hits 0 homers. Fogel needs just 1 to win it. In a controversial knockout round where Roberto Pena hooked one down the left field line for a home run when he was down to his final out, he forced the second knockout round and brings up Adam Fogel, who is almost insured to hit one. Fogel has not competed in one this season, but he has 43 career bombs, 8 this season for the Paddleheads. He missed the first 5 games of the year with an injury, and all he needs to do is launch 1 long ball to left field. Who do the Ballers even send up if there's a 3rd round of this knockout round? Who knows? It won't matter if Fogel can just hit 1. First pitch, flown to right center field. Fogel walking out of the box, looking at it. Has he done it? No. It 1-hops the wall. He tried to go oppo there, and there's 1 away. Ballers need 4 more outs without a homer. Good luck against Fogel. He's swinging away. He launches it left field and deep. Fogel off the wall on the fly. 2 outs on 2 swings. 1:32 left on the timer. He's got ample time. Will he take a pitch? No. He flies it to center field. This doesn't feel like it has the distance, but it is short. It 2-hops the wall. 3 outs. Second knockout round, trying to walk off the series for the Paddleheads after splitting the first 2 games. Fogel swings, launches, left center field towards the scoreboard. It's a moonshot. It is gone. Fogel tosses the bat, and the Paddleheads walk off the Ballers. That'll leave a sour taste in the mouth of the Oakland Ballers. They lose. Michael O'Hara trying to get Davis Druick and his teammates. Ballers are chirping here. O'Hara holding his teammates back. They're ready to fight the Paddleheads after that knockout round. A knockout round win for the Paddleheads over the Ballers tonight. After a 3-3 tie, a 4-4 tie in the game, the Paddleheads win the series 2-1. We'll step aside. The post-game show continues when you return on 860 AM. The Answer. Crushing defeat for the Ballers in the knockout round. They lose in 2 rounds to the Missoula Paddleheads. Adam Fogel with just 1 home run in the second round after Christian Almanza did not hit one here at Ogren Park in Missoula. 4-4, the final score. 5-4 knockout round win, I guess you could say, for the Missoula Paddleheads. It'll be a quick postgame show. I'm Nevada Cullen with Chris Dorr as I've got a bus to catch. Ballers going to Ogden next for 3. Ballers really should have won this game. Go-ahead hit in the 9th inning. It was an error that allowed the hitter Buford to reach and Cobb to score from third to make it 4-3. Missoula would then tie it in the ninth. Down their final strike, Colby Wilkerson launched a solo shot over that high right field wall to tie the game and send it to the knockout round. That right field wall, by the way, 27 feet at its highest point, and he hit it over that wall to right field. Then the knockout round, Cam Buford got one. He was down to his last out. Roberto Pena had one down to his final out. Pena's home run hooked to the left of the foul pole, but Cody Kernut, who screwed the Ballers last night, has to make the controversial call. And look, I'm not going to say it was a bad call. All I'm saying is either way it was ruled, one team was going to be peeved, and the Ballers were the ones upset by the call. Pena hits the home run to tie it and send it to the second knockout round, but say what you want, Christian Almanza didn't hit any in his round, and Fogel, all he had to do was hit one. It came 3 outs in, and Fogel launches one to left center to win it for the Missoula Paddleheads. After the 4-4 tie, it's a knockout round, second round win for the Missoula Paddleheads, and they take the series against the Oakland Ballers. Scores from around the Pioneer League tonight. Billings wins a knockout round against the Vibes after a 3-3 tie. Idaho Falls 23-7 lead over Boise in the bottom of the 8th. Top of the 8th, Glacier trails Yuba Sutter 2-1. Ogden beats Great Falls 6-9. Grand Junction beats Northern Colorado 16-11. That does it for today's broadcast here from Missoula, Montana. Our final score, Missoula 4, Oakland 4, knockout round. Fogel with the second round win, 1-0 over Christian Almanza. Big thanks to those who helped make the broadcast possible, including Ballers co-founders Paul Friedman and Brian Carmel, Ballers assistant general manager Tyler Peterson, Brandon Colthurst, and Chris Storr back in our 860 AM The Answer studios. Also big thanks to you, the listener. We'll have more baseball coming up. Our coverage of the first game of the 3-game series at Ogden will start, I believe, at 5:30 pack time tomorrow. Let me confirm. Yes, it'll start at 5:30 pack time from Ogden. And that'll be the coverage on 860 AM The Answer and on YouTube. We hope that you can join us. Again, our final score, knockout round win after the 4-4 tie. Fogel beats Almanza in the second round, 1-0. I'm Nevada Cohen saying so long. Thanks for listening to Oakland Baseball on 860 AM The Answer.